Administrator Jocelyn Luna is thankful for.
She's brave.
Darius Radcliffe 10 wins in East Harlem.
The Catholic Diocese in the upstate city of Buffalo declared bankruptcy today after being hit with scores of lawsuits alleging they were victimized by predator priests.
250 alleged victims of clergy sexual abuse have already filed lawsuits, and the Diocese of Buffalo anticipates more than 400 other individuals may assert abuse claims. The diocese listed assets between 10 and 50 million, but liabilities of up to 100 million. Other than its bank, the diocese's biggest creditors are law firms that represent alleged victims of clergy sexual abuse. The diocese said it filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection not to shirk or avoid responsibility for any past misconduct by clergy, but to provide an orderly claims process.
That's correspondent Aaron Katursky reporting. A century and a half after the end of the Civil War, the head of the U.S. Marine Corps has decided that the flag of the losing side should no longer be displayed on its bases. Commandant General David Berger has ordered senior staff to remove all Confederate paraphernalia from U.S. Marine installations around the world. This ban comes just 1 week after a congressional hearing that focused on a rise in white nationalist extremism in the military. More than a third of all active duty troops report that they've witnessed a racist incident within the ranks, as per a recent survey by the Military Times. There is a call now for Major League Baseball to honor the player who sacrificed his career so that star athletes who followed him would have more control over their own.
Members of Congress want the late Curt Flood inducted into baseball's Hall of Fame after sending a letter to Cooperstown asking that Flood be elected in December by the next Golden Era committee. 50 years ago, Flood was about to be traded after spending 10 years in St. Louis. He refused, saying he wasn't a piece of property. Flood and Players Union Executive Director Marvin Miller challenged the reserve clause, and 5 years later, the union won. Flood's widow, Judy Pace, explained why Curt, who is revered by players for sacrificing his career, was never inducted, saying he got on a lot of people's nerves.
As correspondent Todd Ant reporting, a jam session with the Prince for Bon Jovi for a good cause. 1010 Wins Entertainment is next. Wins News Time 2:36.
Winter is a great time to improve your health and a great time to discover InviteHealth.com and their over 20-year history of providing premium supplements you can trust. Want to improve joint, heart, or brain health? Let InviteHealth scientists tailor an approach to fit your nutritional needs with supplements made from the finest ingredients without cutting corners or compromise. Go to InviteHealth.com and enter promo code HALF-OFF and get 50% off the retail price on your entire first order, including free shipping on orders over $35. Have you checked your fiscal fitness lately? With today's market volatility, it's important to take the time to review your portfolio. Bridget Quinn here. When I heard Apple Bank was offering a free financial health check review, I made an appointment and learned that the Apple Bank Grand Yield Savings Account has a 1.40% annual percentage yield, APY. Plus, it is 100% liquid and there's no monthly maintenance fee. Apple Bank has CDs and IRAs too, all FDIC insured. After my review, I knew I had to open a Grand Yield Savings and a CD. Visit an Apple Bank branch and get your free financial review today.
Grand Yield Savings annual percentage yield is effective as of February 18th, 2020, and may be changed anytime, including after account opening. Tiered account, other terms and conditions apply. Fees may reduce earnings $400 minimum to open and $2,500 to earn interest. No interest paid on balance between $1 and $2,499. While remaining withdrawn without any prior notice, visit an Apple Bank branch for your review or go to AppleBankSavings.com. Apple Bank and FDIC.
It is 37 degrees, mostly sunny, going down to 28 tonight in Midtown. Wins News Time 2:38. Now 1010 Wins Entertainment. Well, not the Beatles, but still quite a duo at the Abbey Road Studios, where Prince Harry, yes, still a prince, dropped in on a studio session with John Bon Jovi.
Inside the Abbey Road Studios, the Invictus Games Choir was re-recording Bon Jovi's 2019 single, Unbroken, to benefit the multinational sporting event for sick and injured servicemen. It all started with a letter Bon Jovi wrote to Prince Harry.
I don't know. I sort of held up the letter to the wind. Somebody come and get this. Because I knew that the Invictus Games had a choir. I knew that the lyric could touch a lot of people.
Bon Jovi found the session therapeutic.
And we all had some fun singing. Just singing gives them the same joy that it gives me.
It's one of the last official engagements by Prince Harry, who is stepping back from royal duties next month. I'm Ed Donahue.
Well, finally, Lady Gaga's out with a new single, her first in 3 years to drop today. Adding to the excitement, this song, Stupid Love, has a video to go with it, featuring Gaga as a pink-haired extraterrestrial beauty seeking love. Wins News Time 2:39.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company helps you customize your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
you paid for you didn't need? Like that much-needed 125-inch flat-screen TV.
It's hurting my eyes. A lot.
Or your 100-square-foot bedroom.
My neck isn't so much stiff, man. It's completely stuck.
Liberty Mutual is customized health insurance. You only pay for what you need.
Uh-oh. I'm seeing coach punches.
All available when you need. Liberty Mutual. His defense attorney answers that question and many others on this week's In Depth, the latest podcast from 1010 Wins. Go to 1010wins.com and click on the podcast tab.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon, 37 degrees at 2:40. I'm Donna Vaughn, and here's what's happening. Wall Street hates uncertainty, but that's what we have because of the coronavirus threat. Another stumble for stocks today. We'll have the latest. City lawmakers focusing on street safety after the deaths of 2 children on their way to school this week. Time for a vacation in Brooklyn. The borough has made a list of the nation's top travel destinations. And Democrats who control the House have passed a measure that would crack down on flavored vaping products. 1010 Wins AccuWeather says some sunny times and blustery for the rest of the afternoon. Some for the weekend and brisk again tomorrow, but warming up a bit for Sunday.
This is John Minko. Rangers fires tonight at Philadelphia. The Rangers 2 points back in the second wild card in the East with 19 games to go. Next in Atlanta, Mets and Yanks in spring training baseball action.
This is Andrew O'Day. Bloomberg's global stock market rout from coronavirus fear just keeps on. 7th sell-off in a row, but we're off the worst of it. The Dow is losing 656.
Wins news time at 2:41. Traffic and transit now with Greg Rice.
Well, better news in Queens. Eastbound side of the Long Island Expressway getting out towards the area of Springfield Boulevard. The debris that was all over the roadway no longer is. The cops shut down a couple of lanes and they moved everything off. And now all lanes are reopened, but the damage is done. Eastbound Long Island Expressway loaded up from right off of the BQE over to Springfield Boulevard. Grand Central, it's not pretty, but nothing is, and this is better than the Long Island Expressway. Eastbound side of the belt bunched up Van Wyck over to Sunrise Highway. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Inbound Georgia could go to the upper and lower, but right off of the bridge, eastbound Cross Bronx slammed to the Sheridan where the right lane still shut with ongoing emergency construction work. Southbound Deegan, eastbound Bruckner combo. It's not perfect, but boy, is it better. Lincoln, it's about 10 in, 20 to 30 out from 9th and 11th, slightly better elsewhere. Holland, we're looking at about 10 in, 20 to 30 already at the outbound side of the Holland Tunnel. Citybound Midtown Tunnel, Brooklyn bound Brooklyn Bridge already jammed up. Staten Island Expressway, a westbound mess to Woolley Avenue because of an earlier accident. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Wins.
Wins news time at 2:42. Well, it's been the worst week in a decade on Wall Street, and it's been even worse so far today, all because of the coronavirus scare and its potential worldwide economic impact. Our Al Jones is following that story for us. He joins us from the 1010 Wins newsroom with an update.
It's been a roller coaster ride on Wall Street indeed. Coronavirus making investors a bit sick. The Dow fluctuating, but still down 625 points. And the advice from National Economic Council Director Larry Kudlow? Just take a deep breath.
Everybody, whether you're an investor or whether you're, ordinary Main Street person, people should not overreact.
And White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney is downplaying the dangers of coronavirus.
But it's not a death sentence. It's not the same as the Ebola crisis. Now, it's much easier to get than Ebola. That's the one thing that concerns us about it, is how easy it is transferred. You can see that with what happened on the cruise ship in Japan. But this is something we deal with.
Worldwide, 83,000 cases of the virus, 2,800 fatalities. Here in the States, just 62, and none in New York City, where Health Commissioner Oxiris Barbeau says they're ready.
But it's not a
reality is that viruses don't respect borders. And so it's inevitable that over time, we will start seeing spread from person to person.
The city is waiting for test results back from the CDC on a traveler who just returned from Italy. And that delay has Mayor de Blasio continuing to pester the CDC to allow local labs, like the one here in Manhattan, to do their own tests. It would cut down on time, streamline the process, and allow for quick response if or when a test comes back positive. Al Jones, 1010 Wins News.
And of course, we'll have the latest from the stock market in Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 after every hour here on 1010 Wins. Wins News Time at 2:44.
Hi, I'm Harry Rothenberg of the Rothenberg Law Firm. Whether you're on the BQE, the LIE, the Van Wyck, or the FDR, please be careful. Too many people are still on their phones. And if for any reason you or a loved one has an accident, call us. For 50 years, our firm has been winning for injured people in all kinds of cases. We've won billions for them. The Rothenberg Law Firm, injurylawyer.com, or call 1-800-624-8888.
It's bold. It's beautiful. I'm talking about the blue CertaPro painters use to brighten up my home. Bridget Quinn here. Take it from me. CertaPro painters are prompt, neat, and ready to take care of any cracking, peeling, or chipping paint on the exterior of your home. So I recommend getting a free estimate at CertaPro.com. Certa with a C. Refresh and protect your home. Get on CertaPro's spring painting schedule today. That's CertaPro.com.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro painters. We do painting. You do life.
Wins News Time 2:45. Now to the WFAN Sports Desk and Sean Manko.
Donna, the Rangers have won 9 consecutive road games, 9-1-0 in their last 10, and the tie with Carolina, 2 points back at Columbus for the final Eastern Conference playoff berth starting play tonight. And tonight, they're in Philadelphia. It's the Rangers and Flyers. And one of the reasons for the Rangers surge, how about Adam Fox? Fox with the go-ahead goal. Rangers with 4 third-period goals in their Thursday win in Montreal 5-2. Ranger forward Ryan Strome says Fox has been impressive.
I can sit here for 5-10 minutes and talk about how great he is. I mean, you guys see it. It's unbelievable. He's so confident. He's so poised. And stepping in the first year like him and Lindy are doing, playing against a lot of really good players and putting up numbers and producing and playing hard. I mean, it's not easy to do, and it just speaks to how special of a player he is.
Playing the complete game, and that's the objective. The Brooklyn Net carries the vert, no matter the opponent. Nets have dropped 2 straight, half game ahead of the Magic for the 7th playoff position in the East and avoiding Milwaukee in the first round. 5 games from 9th and out of the playoff picture. Nets and Hawks tonight in Atlanta. The Hawks just 17-43.
Yeah, I mean that's our job. We gotta come in, locked in from the start, no matter who we're playing, for a full 48 minutes. And I feel like, for stretches of the game we'll have it, but we gotta have it for a full 48.
That certainly would help. Spring training baseball in the 6th inning, Braves lead the Yankees 2-1. Mets and Cardinals even at 1. 6th inning at Port St. Lucie. Marcus Stroman, the Mets starter, 2 innings. He did give up a home run. The Paul Goldschmidt. Sports at 15:45 around the clock. John Minko, 1010 Win Sports.
Wins News Time 2:47. A former heavyweight boxing champ giving back in Brownsville. That story just ahead.
If you or your loved ones need immigration services, call Specter Law Group at 646-543-0745. Specter Law Group has helped thousands of immigrants get a green card in the United States and saved many hundreds from deportation. Lawyers at Specter Law Group are known throughout New York for their experience, honesty, and success in getting their clients legal status in America. If you or your loved ones are undocumented, call 646-543-0745 and see if Specter Law Group can get you your green card. If you need to apply for your relatives abroad, call Specter Law Group to do it right. If you or your loved ones were arrested or need to appear in court for deportation proceedings, call them immediately. Specter Law Group now offers free consultations. Write this number down, 646-543-0745, or visit them at specterlawgroup.com. That's SPEKTOR lawgroup.com. Specter Law Group, your immigration lawyers. 646-543-0745.
Wins News Time 2:48. Local lawmakers focusing on street safety today following 6 pedestrian deaths in just 5 days in the 5 boroughs. They include 2 children struck and killed while walking to school this week, both in East New York. Just yesterday, a 74-year-old pedestrian was struck by a car on Bell Boulevard in Queens. She survived, luckily. State Senator Andrew Gennardis has proposed a law that would expand pedestrian rights, he says. He tells 1010 Wins that his measure would designate every intersection a crosswalk.
Any crosswalk that exists, whether or not it has a painted crosswalk or not, should be treated as a crosswalk, and therefore drivers must yield to pedestrians when they are crossing the street. Right now, the law only requires drivers to yield to pedestrians in crosswalks that are marked or that have a traffic control device.
Meanwhile, the latest data from the Governor's Highway Safety Association sheds some light on why pedestrian deaths nationwide have hit a 30-year high. A new report blames the distraction of smartphones, more SUVs, which can cause more serious injuries to pedestrians, and warmer weather, which encourages people to go outside more at night, they say. Well, if you're looking for one of the top travel destinations in the U.S. for 2020, look no further than Brooklyn. TripAdvisor is out with its annual Traveler's Choice Awards, and on its new list of the nation's 25 trending destinations, Brooklyn landed at number 5. Travel expert Elizabeth Monahan of TripAdvisor explained to 1010 Wins what people like so much about Brooklyn.
They love crossing that famous Brooklyn Bridge. It's all about the Instagram these days. You know, the views are incredible. You get some really amazing photo opportunities. But the other area that they're really buzzing about is down in the Dumbo area. Gives you a bit of a different perspective on New York.
New York City finished atop TripAdvisor's popular destinations list, followed by Hawaii and Las Vegas. A two-time heavyweight boxing champ now hoping to give kids in his native Brooklyn the same kind of opportunities he was lucky to receive. Former fighter Shannon Briggs says he's going to build the first ever boxing gym in Brownsville. He tells 1010 Wins that he wants to give young people a place to go in the neighborhood other than hanging in the streets.
The goal for me is to leave a legacy, to be able to look back. You know, you can make millions of dollars, but to really leave it, to have it be effective, I think you have to leave something behind that can help people. I think this is what the gym will do.
Briggs is working on the project with the legendary fighter Mike Tyson, who is also a product of Brownsville. A measure targeting the vaping epidemic among young people has passed the House. It would ban the sale of flavored vaping products. The measure, co-sponsored by Florida Congresswoman Donna Shalala, who's a former Secretary of Health and Human Services.
It's time to ensure that our children do not face a lifetime of nicotine addiction. It's time to finally pass a bill that protects their health, and that's what this bill does.
The measure would also add new restrictions on marketing e-cigs, plus a new excise tax on nicotine products. The bill is now on its way to the Republican-controlled Senate, where its approval is considered unlikely. Wins News Time 2:51. We go now to traffic and transit in Greg Rice.
Well, Donna, as we head for a Friday rush hour, the big issue is going to be the eastbound side of the Cross Bronx getting over to the Sheridan. We've been dealing with emergency construction knocking out the right lane. They are blocking the middle lane right now as well, as I see it on the 1010 Wins Jam Cam. Callers tell us there was a partial wall collapse on the eastbound Cross Bronx right near the Sheridan, so this is not going to clear just because rush hour is imminent. It is already an extra 10 to 15 minutes on the upper level of the George, an extra 5 to 10 minutes spent on the inbound lower, and that is all before you deal with the standstill on the eastbound Cross Bronx. Southbound Deegan, eastbound Bruckner combo, go with it, deal with it. It's better than the eastbound Cross Bronx. The Lincoln Tunnel is about 10 minutes in, outbound 30 from 11th, close to that everywhere else, especially off of 9th. Holland about 10 in, 25 to 30 on the outbound ride. Citybound Midtown Tunnel, Brooklyn-bound Brooklyn Bridge, all sorts of bad. Mario Cuomo still fine, as are the Upper East River offerings and the bridges to and from Staten Island. Traffic sponsored by AAA. Don't get stuck out on the road. Get roadside coverage you can count on any time of day in any car you're in. Join AAA today at aaa.com/join. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Wins.
And now the AccuWeather Exogen 4-day forecast, sponsored by PSEG Long Island. Here's meteorologist John Ferrick.
A blustery and cold afternoon out there. Not quite as windy as it was yesterday, but still gusts 35 to 40 miles per hour this afternoon. Need to bundle up. The high just 41. Real feels in the 20s. A little bit less wind tonight, but still brisk. Cold down to 28. Real feels in the teens. Brisk and cold for tomorrow. Clouds, some sunny breaks. The high only 37, and then not as cold Sunday. The better day of the weekend. Sunshine up to 43. Milder Monday up into the low 50s with increasing clouds. Could see some showers as we end to Tuesday, but we'll be up near 60. Right now in Central Park, we've got 39 at partial sunshine, humidity 29%, wind west of 20. Repeating the current temperature, 39, going up to 41 in Midtown. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist John Ferrick on New York's weather station, 1010 Wins.
Wins News Time 2:53.
1010 Wins, CBS FM. Bring us to do this weekend.
Maneater, say it as
And so, Sarah Smile. Some Hall & Oates songs just keep getting better with every listen, especially when you hear them live. This Friday, Hall & Oates play Madison Square Garden. The show starts at 7. After the concert, if you're still in the mood for some 80s, this Saturday, the Dead Stock Depot Vintage Streetwear and Flea Market has more than 20 local and international vintage clothing vendors to help you diversify your wardrobe with some really choice 80s and 90s street and sportswear. Doors open at 1, 321 Canal Street. And if you find yourself on the east side this weekend, make sure you add the art show at the Park Avenue Armory to your schedule. Curated by the most well-respected art dealers from across the country, explore up-and-coming and under-recognized contributions to art history. I'm Race Taylor. For more ideas, visit 1010wins.com/things to do.
It is 2:54, Wins News Time 2:54, that is. Now, before there was the coronavirus, there was Corona beer, and the company says that will not change. Constellation Brands, owner of Corona Extra Lager, says sales remain very strong and that its customers understand there is no link between the virus and the beer business. But two surveys show the Corona brand may be suffering. A poll by 5W Public Relations found 38% of Americans wouldn't buy Corona under any circumstances because of the outbreak. And a survey from YouGov found consumers' intent to purchase Corona fell to its lowest level in 2 years. I'm Ann Cates. Wins News Time 2:55.
Now an update on Long Island's energy infrastructure. We're talking with John O'Connell, PSEG Long Island's Vice President of Electric Service. John, can you tell us how the company is keeping the electricity flowing?
We have many programs to improve electric service, like smart technology and stronger poles. We're inspecting and upgrading more than 1,000 circuits throughout the grid to deliver best-in-class reliability.
And where's this work happening?
All across our island. In fact, you'll probably see our crews right in your neighborhood.
Learn more about PSEG Long Island's ongoing infrastructure maintenance at psegLINY.com.
I know you wanna leave me, but I will let you go.
One dream and a sound that would last a lifetime. Ain't Too Proud, the life and times of the Temptations. The hit Broadway sensation with the Grammy-winning song and the Tony-winning moves. The great seats are available for weeknight performances this winter. Get your tickets today.
It is 37 degrees with some sun, going down to 28 in Midtown. Wins News Time 2:56 now. Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins. Here's Andrew O'Day.
Stock indexes are cutting losses back from the worst of the session, but we're still quite a bit down, making for the 7th market rout in a row amid ever-expanding coronavirus fear. Heading toward the final trading hour, Dow losing 686, NASDAQ down 124, S&P 500 down 64. Only 4 stocks listed on the S&P 500 have risen over the prolonged market slide. 2 of them are Gilead Sciences and Regeneron Pharmaceuticals. Both are working on coronavirus treatments. The others are Clorox, maker of multiple disinfectants, and exchange operator CME Group, which is reaping financial rewards from all the wild market volatility. One office from which Wall Street has wanted very much to hear has now spoken. Fed Chief Jerome Powell says policymakers are monitoring developments surrounding coronavirus closely and will act as appropriate, suggesting possible action on interest rates, adding that coronavirus poses evolving risks, but says the U.S. economy, for now, remains strong. Dow losing 695, NASDAQ down 126, S&P 500 falling 64. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Andrew O'Day, 1010 Wins.
Wins News Time 2:57.
A commercial message. This is Carter Conlon. The book of Hebrews chapter 1 verse 3. By faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God. The things which are seen were not made of things which are visible. Now this is a phenomenal verse of Scripture. It tells us that God specializes in creating something out of nothing. Just imagine that. He created the universe, the world, simply by a spoken word. He didn't need material to do it. He created something out of nothing. And when he makes a promise to us, he doesn't need material to make that happen either. All he has to do is speak into our lives. He says, this may be what you are now, but this is what you will be. My brothers and my sisters, it's time to have faith in a God who can be trusted. It's time to believe again in every promise that he has given to us. It's time to pray.
Spring turn here.
And Paul,
Everyone is trying to tell you how you can spend your tax refund.
at Sprint, we're doing things differently. We're saying keep it.
Exactly, because now you can get the amazing iPhone 11 with the all-new dual camera system with ultra-wide for $0 a month when you trade in your iPhone 6s or newer.
In any condition.
Seriously, in any condition.
That's right. Keep your tax refund and get the amazing iPhone 11. And because Sprint likes doing things differently, they're offering a 100% total satisfaction guarantee. Well, I think their network and savings are great. You don't just have to take my word for it. Try it out and see for yourself.
What a way to take it to 11.
Visit your local Sprint store, Sprint.com, or call 800-SPRINT-1 today. iPhone 11 64 gigabytes, $0 a month after 29.17 month credit apply within 2 bills. Requires unlocked trade-in, 18-month lease, new line of service, and approved credit. If you cancel early, remaining balance due. Coverage and offer not available everywhere. Excludes tax, $30 activation fee, restrictions apply. Guarantee applies to new lines of service within 30 days.
Wings News Time 2:59.
WINS HD, WHD3 New York.
A radio.com station. On the 1010 Winds AccuWeather 4-day forecast, calling for a blustery, cold afternoon. Real feels in the 20s a lot of the time. Then tonight, breezy and chilly. Low 28, real feels in the teens. Tomorrow should be another brisk day. We'll start the weekend with a little sun at times and a high of 37. Real feels staying mainly in the 20s again. Not quite as cold for Sunday, high 43 under a sunny sky. Monday, we expect clouds to increase. A milder high, too, around 52. Looking ahead to Tuesday, it should be kind of spring-like. High temps approaching 60. A shower possible. More rain expected Wednesday to Saturday. More people get their news from 1010 Winds than from any other radio station in the nation. Jim Powers is our surfacing cut, but Julie Vaughn, our writer, Justin Schrager at the editor's desk. I'm Donna Vaughn.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Winds. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. It's 37 degrees, 3 o'clock. I'm Larry Cantor, and here's what's happening. Wall Street has been taking another beating today over concern about coronavirus. The Roman Catholic Diocese of Buffalo files for bankruptcy protection. A man is accused of groping an 11-year-old girl at her school in East Harlem. Now that Prince Harry and Meghan have moved to Canada, it's unclear who's going to pay for their security. 1010 Winds, AccuWeather, blustery and cold, and overnight low 29.
This is John Mitko. Yanks and Mets with spring training baseball games today. Rangers have won 9 straight on the road. Rangers Flyers tonight in Philadelphia. The Mets with this up 2-game losing streak in Atlanta.
This is Andrew O'Day at Bloomberg. Virus fear slamming stocks again. The Dow down 700 points. This is not because of coronavirus, but stock at Foot Locker is getting kicked around.
Wings News Time 3:01. From the 1010 Winds Traffic Center, here's Greg Rice.
We are now into a Friday rush, Larry. In the eastbound side of the Cross Bronx to the Sheridan, we still have the right lane knocked out. This is ongoing emergency construction from what many 1010 Winds tip line callers tell us was an earlier partial wall collapse. So it's not affecting you at the George badly yet. That'll change. Inbound George at most an extra 15 minutes across the span, about an extra 10 on the lower. That doesn't count the time you'll just spend crawling on the eastbound Cross Bronx. So as soon as you clear the inbound George, southbound Egan, eastbound Bruckner combo, the smarter play. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. West side, the best way out. Lincoln's about 10 in, 30 on the outbound ride. Holland, 30 to 45 out. Inbound, no more than 15 minutes just yet. Traffic sponsored by RE/MAX. Whether you're buying or selling, downsizing or expanding, relocating or vacationing, RE/MAX agents have the tools and expertise to help you go from sale to sold. It's why no one else sells more homes. Don't worry, they've done this a million times. Download the new RE/MAX app today or visit RE/MAX.com. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Winds.
The country continues to feel its way through the threat of coronavirus. It's like navigating a dark hallway. Let's get the latest from 1010 Winds in the newsroom and our Al Jones.
Yeah, last year's gains, well, they're this week's losses. The Dow dropping around 4,000 points, 13% this week, amid concerns over the coronavirus's impact on the world economy. Correspondent Steve Castamon with more on Wall Street's rough week.
And it's been another roller coaster ride, although it's all been in negative territory. As soon as trading began today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped more than 1,000 points. It clawed back around 600 points, but right now we are down 729 points in this last hour of trading at the New York Stock Exchange. No idea where it's going to wind up, but there's still a lot of information out there that is driving up concerns and down prices. Things like Amazon telling its employees to avoid unnecessary travel in the United States because of coronavirus. It's a pretty puzzling statement to make because the CDC is saying this. No health departments in the U.S. are telling people they should avoid traveling right now. There's only been a few dozen cases of coronavirus here in the U.S., and many of the folks who have tested positive already recovered from the illness right now. But we'll be watching this last hour of trading and see where it winds up and see what the total losses are this week. Reporting live, Steve Kastenbaum for 1010 Wins.
And just 62 cases confirmed in the U.S. and none here in the city, with one traveler back from Italy being tested, and the tests are still pending. The testing now only done at one place in the U.S., that's the CDC labs. City Health Commissioner Oxiris Barbeau on CNN hoping local labs will soon be able to do their own testing.
Yes, we're frustrated, but all the measures that we have put in place are independent of whether there is a positive or not. We need to take a very forward, aggressive stance to make sure that New Yorkers follows those messages.
Now, the state is making $40 million available for locals to battle the virus. At the same time, Governor Cuomo urging folks to guard against panic.
There's no reason now for people to be afraid or panic or have undue anxiety. This is not the Ebola virus. The mortality rate is higher than the flu, but it's not certainly what the Ebola virus was.
Worldwide, the virus is spreading and the numbers continue to grow. 83,000 confirmed cases of coronavirus in 60 countries and 2,800 fatalities. And what are shoppers doing in response? Well, they're going for two things in particular: masks and hand sanitizer. Al Jones, 1010 Wins News.
Checking AccuWeather now. Blustery and cold tonight. We'll see a low of 28 with real feels in the teens. And then tomorrow, clouds with some sunny breaks, a lot like today. A high of 37 and real feels in the 20s. It's 37 degrees now. Skies are mostly sunny. Humidity 32%. Winds west at 25 miles an hour. Repeating the current temperature, 37. We're heading down to 28. Wings News Time, 3:05. There's controversy ahead of St. Patrick's Day and the parade on Staten Island this week. The issue is exclusion of LGBTQ groups.
The Staten Island Pride Center not only had their application denied yet again to be part of this major celebration, but organizers won't even sit at the table to discuss it, saying LGBT marchers not an appropriate way to honor a patron saint. Pride Center's Carol Bullock says this sends the wrong message, especially to young people.
So kids out there who are not out yet, and yet they're marching in this parade and thinking to themselves, if I were out right now, I wouldn't be allowed to march in this parade.
The Bullock says they will never give up.
I'm going back again next year. I mean, I'm not going away, and what's keeping me going is the overwhelming support from the community.
Glenn Shuck, 1010 Wins, Forest Avenue on Staten Island.
Another Roman Catholic diocese has filed for bankruptcy protection amid lawsuits stemming from the priest's sex abuse scandal. The Diocese of Buffalo became the second in the state to file for Chapter 11 reorganization after the Diocese of Rochester filed last September. Bishop Richard Malone resigned from the Buffalo Diocese in December under pressure from the Vatican. He was accused of withholding the names of dozens of priests accused of misconduct. The diocese already has paid out about $18 million to more than 100 victims under an independent compensation program established in 2018. It faces more than 240 new lawsuits filed since August after New York revised the state's Child Victims Act. A scary incident at a school in East Harlem. A man followed a girl into the building and groped her.
Students arrived here at Isaac Newton Middle School with no incident a day after a man followed a student inside and groped her.
I saw when they was locking him up yesterday.
Derek Amos, who dropped off his daughter, says he's alarmed that the man police identified as 52-year-old Anthony Anderson was allegedly able to get inside.
I don't know how he got in there when their security is very tight. So for him to breach that security, I can't understand it.
Police say a teacher tackled the man and held him until they arrived.
It's good that somebody was thinking, and somebody was pretty much on top of it.
The Department of Education says more security has been added. Darius Ramsey is 10-10 wins in East Harlem.
Tomorrow is another primary, and Joe Biden is counting on South Carolina to be the firewall that keeps his campaign alive. Here's correspondent Jim Ryan.
Polling over the last couple of days favors Joe Biden in tomorrow's primary here in South Carolina. But a new ABC News Ipsos poll finds that among those who watched Tuesday's debate, Bernie Sanders would have an easier time defeating President Trump in November. For Sanders' part,
I don't believe that Joe can beat Trump when people learn that he voted for the war in Iraq.
Now Sanders has to hope that South Carolinians headed to the polls tomorrow care about the Iraq war.
South Carolina is the warm-up for Super Tuesday, when voters in 14 states will express their thoughts on the Democratic race. That'll be the first time Mike Bloomberg is on the ballot, but without a good showing next Tuesday, it's hard to imagine a path to victory for him. A new CNN poll out today shows him with more than 10 points, trailing frontrunner Bernie Sanders in Texas, one of the states with the most delegates, and in California, Sanders has an even wider lead over the competition, with Bloomberg, Biden, and Elizabeth Warren bunched up around 20 points behind him. California and Texas account for more than 600 delegates. 1,991 are needed to secure the nomination. Wings News Time, 3:09.
Hey, Greg, I'm so sorry to hear about your brother's heart attack.
Thanks. He's okay now, but it really got me thinking about my family. You know, could my wife still pay our mortgage if I had a heart problem? Or could my kids still go to college?
Man, that is really scary. Yeah, you should call my life insurance agent at Health IQ. When I got life insurance for my family last year, they saved me 41% versus any other company I looked at.
41%?
That's huge. Yep. Health IQ starts by shopping everyone with the top 30 life insurance carriers to make sure they can get the lowest retail rate. Then they apply their exclusive healthy lifestyle savings, which can save you up to 41%. I literally got $1 million in coverage for my family for just $36 a month.
Just $36 a month?
Yep. You should check it out at healthiq.com/easy. Yep. healthiq.com/easy.
Now this message, old car giving you problems, why not donate it? Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS today. Wins News Time, 3:10.
If you're one of the millions of Americans who owes back taxes, if you get nervous when the mail comes because you might get a letter from the IRS, then you've heard. Their enforcement agents are cracking down this year and can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts. Even your home or business could be at risk over unpaid taxes. It's all true, but it's also true there's a way out. It's called the Fresh Fight to get you the best deal possible, protecting your paycheck and your assets from IRS collections. But don't delay, because the IRS is tacking on interest and hefty penalties every single day. So don't wait until it's too late. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-741-3889. 800-741-3889. 800-741-3889. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Wins News Time, 3:11. From the Mavis Discount Tire Traffic Center, here's Greg Rice.
Well, Larry, this bus on the FDR will not drive. Traffic sponsored by your Tri-State Mercedes dealers. Picking this up on the 1010 Wins Jam Cam South End FDR near East 111th Street. A bus broke down in the left lane. They're trying to put it onto a tow truck right now, and it is a trying ride behind this thing from the 130s on down southbound west side. That'll treat you better off of the bridge all the way down towards Midtown. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Inbound George till 5 into the tolls to the upper and lower at this point. That's about where your good news ends. An extra 20 minutes across on the upper level, an extra 10 to 15 on the inbound lower. It's all because of the standstill on the eastbound cross Bronx all the way to the Sheridan because of the ongoing emergency construction in the right lane. Lincoln's about 10 minutes in, solid 20 to 30 out, 30 to 45 at the outbound Holland inbound. No more than an extra 10 to 15. Traffic sponsored by your Tri-State Mercedes dealers. 3 rows up to 7 seats and room for much more. Introducing the first ever Mercedes-Benz GLB, a stylish SUV with an MBUX system and optional third row, and a starting MSRP of $36,600. go to MBUSA.com or visit your your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers to schedule your test drive today. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Wins.
Now the AccuWeather Exergen 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist John Ferrick with a live report.
Another blustery afternoon with real field temperatures down into the 20s at times if you factor in that wind, but see the wind diminish a little bit tonight. A partly cloudy sky, cold down to 28. Real feels in the teens at times. Still brisk for tomorrow. Clouds and some sunny breaks, high 37. Real feels in the 20s. Cold tomorrow night down to 26, 20 in a few suburbs, and not as cold for Sunday. The better day of the weekend. Sunshine up to 43, up to 53 on Monday, and by Tuesday and Wednesday, looks like we'll be up near 60. Right now, it's at the park, 41. Partial sun. We'll fall back to 28 tonight in Midtown. I'm back here with meteorologist John Ferrick on New York's weather station, 1010 Wins.
Wednesday's time, 3:13.
This is Dave Marley, pharmacist and CEO of Marley Drug. Are you paying too much for your Viagra or Cialis? Marley Drug has the generic version of each for just $12 per tablet. Medication from those internet ED sites like Roman can be as much as 3 to 4 times per tablet than Marley Drug. Marley Drug is an independent pharmacy with affordable versions of generic Viagra and Cialis for just $12 per tablet, and that includes free shipping to your door. Call 800-852-7354. That's 800-852-7354 or go to marleydrug.com.
Each year at this time, people's tax refunds start to arrive in the mail, and you think there's no better time to head to your local pre-owned car dealership to pick up a fresh set of wheels. But wait! Before you go, ask them about their dealer fees. Otherwise, you may be shocked to find a bunch of extra charges on your final invoice, like a prep fee, an administration fee, perhaps a destination fee, or even a reconditioning fee. Each can add thousands to your price. Well, if their fees add up to more than $75, you are car shopping in the wrong place. Don't get ripped off. Come to Major World of Long Island City, where a grand total of $75 covers all the dealer fees, other than the state stuff like tax tags and DMV charges. And now you know about it. No surprises. Just one more dealer fee on any of our thousands of fairly priced, quality pre-owned cars. So if made-up dealer fees are not where you want to spend your tax refund, head to Major World, 4640 North Boulevard, Long Island City, Queens. Close to the 59th Street Bridge. Call 1-800-MAJOR-AUTO or shop online at MajorWorld.com.
Wins News Time, 3:15. Now from the WFAN Sports Desk, here's John Minka.
Larry, we'll update spring training baseball in the 8th inning of the Yankees lead for age 5-2. 8th inning in Port St. Lucie. Mets 2-1 on the Cardinals. Paul Goldschmidt homers off of Marcus Stroman, the Mets starter in the first inning. 2 innings for Stroman today. Brandon Nimmo back in the Met lineup, and he scored on a Dominic Smith RBI single that was also in the first inning. Hockey, Rangers certainly making a push for the postseason. 19 games to go. Tied with Carolina, 2 points back at Columbus for the second and final wild card in the East tonight. Rangers, Flyers in Philadelphia. Ranger forward Ryan Strong.
We just want to make this thing interesting. We want to play meaningful games, and we're making these games count, and we're doing a good job. We're making it. Teams are starting to see us catching them in the standings a little bit, and we're going to play all the teams we got to catch up to. So that's the important thing.
And consider how hot the Rangers are right now. 5 straight wins, 9 of 10, and 9 straight on the road, which is a new franchise record. Nets and Hawks tonight in Atlanta. Nets have dropped 2 straight half game ahead of the Magic for the 7th playoff position in the Eastern Conference. And if you got that 7th playoff position, basically is this: you avoid Milwaukee in the first round. Net coach Kenny Atkinson.
We know the fight we're in. We know how hard it is. We know how hard it is to get in the big dance, so to speak.
Hawks checking in at 17-43. Knicks and the Bulls will square off tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden. It is a 5 o'clock tip. Sports at 15:45 around the clock. John Mitko, 1010 Win Sports.
Wins News Time, 3:17. All that controversy over the sentencing of longtime Trump confidant Roger Stone isn't over yet. Today, House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler asked the Justice Department to provide information and access to 15 people there so the House panel can investigate whether they have knowledge of improper political intervention in that case or others of special interest to President Trump. Prosecutors had sought a 7 to 9 year prison sentence for Stone after his conviction on lying to Congress and threatening a witness during the 2016 campaign. After a late-night tweet by Mr. Trump, Attorney General Bill Barr overrode that sentencing recommendation, prompting all 4 federal prosecutors in the case to withdraw. Stone was ultimately given 40 months behind bars. The House Judiciary Committee is holding an oversight hearing on March 31st, and Barr is scheduled to testify. Israelis head to the polls on Monday for the third time in less than a year. Here's correspondent Jordana Miller.
The final 3 Israeli polls published before Monday's vote show Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has the momentum. Once trailing, his Likud party is now slightly ahead of or neck and neck with that of his challenger, General Benny Gantz. Both leaders have no path to forming a 61-seat majority, but Netanyahu is now closer, shy by only a handful of seats. A high voter turnout could break the deadlock. Netanyahu hoping for a narrow victory. Gantz to replace the Israeli leader who is facing a corruption trial.
Arab leaders say they hope to improve on their strong showing in the last election. Canadian taxpayers have been on the hook paying the security detail of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle now that they've moved to a $14 million home in Vancouver, British Columbia. But the Canadian government says that security arrangement is about to end next month. It's unclear who will pick up the tab after that. Prime Minister Trudeau had previously assured Queen Elizabeth that her grandson's family would be safe, with Canada expected to pay around half of the estimated $1.3 million annual bill. The Canadian Taxpayers Federation handed a petition with 80,000 signatures to Trudeau's office, insisting public funds should not be used for Harry and Meghan. Wings News Time, 3:19.
Some claim to be the best. We actually are. The Sandra Atlas Bass Heart Hospital at North Shore University Hospital is the #1 heart program on Long Island, according to U.S. News & World Report. It's why more people choose us for cardiac care than any other hospital in the area. Top-rated in cardiology and heart surgery, we're the true leaders in heart care. And that's a fact. Visit northwell.edu/factsmatter. North Shore University Hospital.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. We couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. A robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1. Or visit AmericanEagle.com. They'll help you build your digital mindset.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. It's 37 degrees at 3:20. I'm Larry Cantor, and here's what's happening. Stocks continue to tumble due to concerns about coronavirus. A couple of heavyweights team up in Brooklyn, opening a gym in Brownsville. The Democratic presidential candidates are making their last pitch for votes ahead of tomorrow's primary in South Carolina. European scientists have discovered a new deep-sea crustacean, and they've named it after the band Metallica. 10-10 winds, AccuWeather, blustery and cold, a low tonight 28.
This is John Minko. Rangers Flyers tonight in Philadelphia. The Rangers have won 9 straight on the road, 5 in a row overall. Nets have dropped 2 straight. They're in Atlanta. Yanks and Mets with spring training baseball games today. This is Andrew O'Day of Bloomberg. Moments of temporary partial recovery for stock indexes at various times today, but they never lasted long. Right now, the Dow is down 666.
Winds News Time, 3:21. From the 1010 Winds Traffic Center, here's Greg Rice.
Well, the big story continues to be the Cross Bronx eastbound side getting over to the Sheridan and right lane still shut. This is ongoing emergency construction following a partial wall collapse. You've got a standstill back to and starting to build over the inbound George Washington Bridge. The upper level tack on an extra 25 minutes, 15 to 20 on the inbound lower, and as soon as you clear the bridge, southbound Deegan, eastbound Bruckner combo, the better way to head for the Bruckner interchange. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. No great way out of the George, not with the west side worsening. Lincoln Tunnel, it's about 15 in, 20 to 30 on the outbound ride, the worst of it from 11th, 9th, everything else at least a little better. 30 to 45 at the outbound side of the Holland. In inbound. No more than 15. Citybound Midtown Tunnel, Brooklyn-bound Brooklyn Bridge, Bronx-bound Whitestone Bridge. They are all some kind of slow already. The bridges to and from Staten Island are fine, but the westbound Staten Island Expressway slam from the Verrazano over to the West Shore before that shakes loose. I'm Greg Rice, our next report at 3:31 on 1010 Win.
Coronavirus is the #1 concern in America, and no one knows exactly how this is all going to end. Al Jones is following the various angles, including Wall Street, and he has a live report from the 1010 Wins newsroom.
Hey, Larry, we are in the last hour of the last day of the trading week, and Wall Street definitely needs a few days to forget. Correspondent Steve Kastenbaum with more on the financial impact of coronavirus.
And right now, Al, we're looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average at 763 points into negative territory. It's a little bit better than it was after the opening. It shot down over 1,000 points at the very beginning of this day, but anything can happen in these last 35 minutes or so of trading on Wall Street. We'll see where it's going to close. There's just a lot of uncertainty about what coronavirus is going to mean for the global economy, not just in terms of the interruption of the supply chain, but you hear things like the World Health Organization say that hospitals around the world are not prepared for this, and it makes people worried about how much worse this could get before it gets better. But there's also good news. We see signs in China that the number of new cases of coronavirus are going down, and the World Health Organization was praising China's efforts to get people back to work in a very careful way so that they don't see the numbers of coronavirus cases going up again. Again, like you said, we really do need a weekend off to catch our breath here. Reporting live, Steve Kastenbaum for 1010 Wins.
Well, at the Capitol, lawmakers are working on a multi-billion-dollar package to combat the virus, and Governor Cuomo says Albany also has made money available.
The $40 million supplemental appropriation is to purchase equipment, have staff ready, just in case we need it.
Still no confirmed cases in the city, although test results are pending for a traveler back from Italy. Health Commissioner Oxiris Barbeau was on CNN earlier.
The most important thing is if you have traveled to one of these countries that has ongoing transmission within the last 14 days, don't go to work, and you're feeling symptomatic, don't go to work, and call your doctor so that you can get tested.
And while the locals ratchet preparation up, the White House is downplaying the threat. Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney accusing Democrats of making this a political issue.
The reason you're saying so much attention to it today is that they think this is going to be what brings down the president. That's what this is all about. I got a note today from a reporter saying, "What are you going to do today to calm the markets?" And I'm like, really, what I might do today to calm the markets is tell people to turn their televisions off for 24 hours.
Worldwide, 83,000 confirmed cases of coronavirus, but just 62 here in the U.S., and most of those were airlifted from a cruise ship. Still, the Pentagon is warning the virus poses an increased threat to U.S. troops. Al Jones, 1010 Wins News.
A homecoming for two-time heavyweight boxing champ Shannon Briggs, returning to his native Brownsville, Brooklyn. He tells 1010 Wins he's joined with former boxing great Mike Tyson to open a new gym. Briggs says he's also working with Tyson on a new docu-series to inspire those who live in Brownsville and elsewhere. Wins News Time, 3:26. Now Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins, sponsored by Marvin Windows and Doors. And here's Andrew O'Day.
Wall Street is on pace for its worst week since 2008, a year to which no one wants comparisons made. Today marks the 7th coronavirus-induced sell-off in a row. Dow falling 826, NASDAQ down 168, S&P 500 down 79. New York children's startup clothing seller Rockets of Awesome has some not-so-awesome news today. It's laying off about half its staff and closing its only physical store at 133 Fifth Avenue. The company, known for trendy children's clothes and a subscription service that allows parents to sign up to receive personalized boxes of items, has suffered since the 2018 entry into children's clothes by Stitch Fix. One of the big financial backers of Rockets of Awesome has been Foot Locker, and today that company has its own issues. It's posting holiday quarter results. Profit beat forecast, but mostly thanks to cost controls, sales were weaker than predicted. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Andrew O'Day for 1010 Wins.
Wins News Time, 3:27.
Do you ever get to work and people are talking about something important that happened and you have no clue? This is Lee Harris. Don't be that guy. Tune in tomorrow morning starting at 5. We'll make sure you know what happened overnight and what you need to face the day ahead. Every morning. That's a promise from the station that started this whole 24-hour news cycle thing. 1010 Wins.
When it comes to keeping Americans safe from coronavirus, this is the sound of a president we can't rely on.
I asked the various doctors, it's just like flu. People die from the flu.
America can do better. Managing a crisis when everything is on the line is what Mike Bloomberg is all about. Mayor after 9/11, Bloomberg steadied a shaken city and coordinated rebuilding. He oversaw emergency responses to Hurricane Sandy, the swine flu epidemic, and West Nile virus. To prepare his city, Mike created a pandemic response plan for disease monitoring, vaccine delivery, and hospital readiness. And at the Bloomberg School of Public Health, he's funding cutting-edge research to contain epidemics. The bottom line, Mike gets things done. As president, he'll expand Obamacare, create jobs, combat gun violence. But more, when a crisis hits, Mike will make sure America is ready. After the chaos of Trump, that is a change we need.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mike Bloomberg 2020.
You're in charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions, like online skills tests, which let a candidate show that they're the right hire. Indeed will also give you this sticky frog, which will suddenly leap and stick to the face of the perfect hire. Okay, there's no sticky frog. But skills tests, that's for sure.
See why independent research by Silk Road shows Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Visit Indeed.com/promo today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply.
What's in store right now at your local Staples?
Make plans this weekend to save.
Staples weekend exclusive deals mean big discounts on the things you use every day.
Like 50% off all True Red storage totes.
True Red storage totes come in a range of sizes and are perfect for organizing and tidying up your home or office.
And right now, all True Red storage totes are half off.
But hurry, offer ends Sunday.
Staples, where there's a whole lot more in store.
In store only and 3/120 while supplies last.
Create a happier, healthier home with Marvin. Visit Marvin.com to see how Marvin Windows and Doors can bring fresh air and sunlight into your home.
AccuWeather says breezy and cold tonight, a low 28, real feels in the teens. Then tomorrow, clouds with some sunny breaks, a high 37. Right now, mostly sunny and 41. Good afternoon, I'm Larry Cantor. Wins News Time at the tone, 3:30.
Good afternoon, I'm Donna Vaughn. South Carolina holds its Democratic primary tomorrow. And whatever happens could shape the presidential race going forward to the March 3rd Super Tuesday primaries just a few days later.
Former Vice President Joe Biden calls South Carolina his firewall.
Are you going to win?
Yes, because South Carolina is the trajectory to winning the Democratic nomination.
South Carolina looks favorable for Biden. He got an endorsement from Representative James Clyburn this week, and in the polls, he's leading current national frontrunner, Senator Bernie Sanders.
One of the serious things we got to do is make sure that we defeat the most dangerous president in the modern history of this country, Donald Trump.
I'm John Lawrence.
Biden also picked up another endorsement today from Virginia Senator Tim Kaine, who was Hillary Clinton's running mate 4 years ago. Keep it locked here at 1010 Wins and 1010wins.com for ongoing coverage of tomorrow's South Carolina primary. Wins News Time 3:31. Traffic and transit now with Greg Rice.
We go back to the FDR Drive, southbound side over near the area of 111th Street. We got rid of that broken down bus. That's all gone. But now what we see is a crawl southbound coming down to Gracie Mansion before that gets any kind of better. Southbound or west side, a much better ride. Northbound west side, messy, and that is everything. All the way to the outbound side of the George, all of the options are bad. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Here we go with the George, starting to get worse all the way across the span. A solid 30 minutes added onto your trip on the upper level, and a 20 to 25 minute addition to the inbound lower. This is all because of ongoing emergency construction on the eastbound Cross Bronx near the Sheridan, sitting in the right lane. Lincoln, we're looking at an extra 10 to 15 and 20 to 30 out from 11th, slightly slightly better elsewhere. Holland 30 to 45 out. Inbound, no more than an extra 15 to 20. Citybound Midtown Tunnel, Brooklyn bound Brooklyn Bridge, Bronx bound Whitestone, all extra slow. Traffic is sponsored by We Design NY. Are you a commercial real estate landlord or broker? For the highest quality turnkey office-based design, you must consider We Design NY for your next build-out. Their in-house team will take any space and gut it, design it, build it, and furnish it. To see their latest work, visit WeDesignNY.com. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Wins.
And now the AccuWeather Exogen 4-day forecast and meteorologist John Feerick.
A blustery cold afternoon out there. Real feels in the 20s. Winds gusting 35 to 40 miles per hour. We'll see the gusts subside as we head through the evening. But still a brisk and cold night down to 28. Real feels in the teens. Brisk and cold tomorrow. Clouds and some sunny breaks at 37. Cold, mostly clear tomorrow night, the low 26. And then sunshine, not as cold on Sunday. The better day of the weekend up to 43. Milder Monday. Sun giving way to clouds up to 53, and then by Tuesday and Wednesday, it looks like we'll be up near 60. Right now in Central Park, 41. Partial sun, humidity 26%, wind west to 20, AccuWeather the real field temperature 27. Repeating the current temperature, 41, going down to 28 in Midtown. I'm AccuWeather's John Feerick on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds.
With your help, City Harvest will rescue and deliver 59 million pounds of food for New York's hungry. So let's make someone's day a little more fruitful and dish out the love to nourish our city, one meal and one New Yorker at a time. Help us feed NYC at cityharvest.org.
Well, Winds News Time 3:33. In the wake of 6 pedestrian deaths in 5 days in the city, elected officials are talking about new street safety legislation today. State Senator Andrew Gennardis has proposed a law that would expand pedestrian rights, he says. He tells 1010 Winds that his measure would designate every intersection a crosswalk, whether or not it's marked that way.
Right now, the law only requires drivers to yield to pedestrians in crosswalks that are marked or that have a traffic control device. But you can probably think of a dozen examples off the top of your head where there are corners and curb cuts and places where pedestrians are encouraged to cross that are not marked, and drivers do not have to yield to them in those circumstances. So this would apply to all such intersections.
2 young children were killed while walking to school in Brooklyn this week. In both cases, the drivers are facing criminal charges. Then last night in Queens, a 74-year-old woman was hit by a vehicle on Bell Boulevard in Bayside. She was hurt but is going to survive. No charges for that driver. Correspondent Ryan Burrows says pedestrian deaths in the U.S. hit a 30-year high last year.
The Governor's Highway Safety Association says in 2019, nearly 6,600 pedestrians died in motor vehicle crashes, up 5% from 2018. Up more than 50% over the last decade. That despite roadway crash fatalities falling in recent years. Pedestrians accounted for 17% of all traffic deaths last year. The GHSA says most pedestrian deaths take place at night on local roads. Pedestrians struck by large SUVs are twice as likely to die as those hit by a car.
That report also blames the distraction of smartphones and warmer weather, which encourages people to go outside more at night, they say. A federal appeals court in San Francisco is temporarily halting a controversial policy of the Trump administration, his Remain in Mexico program for refugees.
The 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruling the Trump administration cannot continue making asylum seekers wait in Mexico while their cases wind through U.S. immigration courts. The appellate court ruling 2-1 to temporarily put on hold President Trump's Remain in Mexico policy while legal challenges are heard. The policy has been in place since last year. Tens of thousands of asylum seekers have been sent to Mexico since it started.
Correspondent Alex Stone says the same court also decided to keep another major change on hold, one that denies asylum to anyone who enters the U.S. illegally from Mexico. Well, baseball fans having a crisis of confidence. A new poll finds nearly half think Major League Baseball's investigation of the Houston Astros cheating scandal was more of a cover-up than a serious effort to punish wrongdoing. Astros leadership was punished, but players were not. And Seton Hall Sports poll director Rick Gentile tells 1010 Winds that has a lot of fans thinking they might as well reverse the lifetime ban of Pete Rose, who got the boot for betting on baseball games while he was Reds manager.
30% of the people who said that they thought he should be in the Hall of Fame thought that this should have a bearing on it. So Rose has support among the public to get into the Hall, and possibly the Astros situation will start to influence that.
And Rose insists that what he did, betting on his team to win, was less serious than what the Astros did, stealing signs to win games, including the 2017 World Series. Well, an odd sort of honor for Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Metallica. 1010 Winds Entertainment is next. Winds News Time 3:36. In winter, it's hard to get the essential vitamins and minerals you need to stay healthy. For over 20 years, InviteHealth.com has provided premium supplements and expert advice you can trust. Made from the finest ingredients without cutting corners, without compromise. They'll even help you choose a personalized program that fits your needs. In-store or online at InviteHealth.com. Go to InviteHealth.com and enter promo code HALF-OFF and get 50% off the retail price on your entire first order, including free shipping on orders over $35.
You're a small business owner, and there's nothing small about what you do. That's why Dell Small Business Technology Advisors give you trusted advice, one-on-one partnership, and tailored tech solutions, like computers with Intel Core processors, servers, storage, networking, plus thousands of top-brand electronics, accessories, and software. No matter your technology needs, Dell is here to help your small business do big things. Call 877-BUY-DELL to speak with an advisor today. That's 877-BUY-DELL. Liberty Mutual Insurance Company helps you customize your home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Unlike things you paid for you didn't need, like the Vacnado 2000. A Wi-Fi connected vacuum that uploads Death Bunny data to the cloud for real-time optimization. Whatever that means. But really, it's just a very expensive doggy chew toy. With Liberty Mutual, get customized home insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Wins News Time 3:38, now 1010 Wins Entertainment. Well, as Metallica puts it, we have played on all 7 continents, made it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and now we're a crustacean. A team of scientists has discovered a worm-like sea creature deep under the Pacific Ocean and named it Macrostylus metallicola. It's only a quarter of an inch long and survives in complete darkness 15,000 feet below the surface. Well, the music business is back in business. After several years in the doldrums, thanks in part to YouTube and piracy, word now that revenues for recorded music in the U.S. rose 13% last year to over $11 billion. That's the highest since 2006, and the big boost reportedly coming from streaming. Wins News Time 3:39. Have you checked your fiscal fitness lately? With today's market volatility, it's important to take the time to review your portfolio. Bridget Quinn here. When I heard Apple Bank was offering a free financial health check review, I made an appointment and learned that the Apple Bank Grand Yield Savings Account has a 1.40% annual percentage yield, APY. Plus, it is 100% liquid and there's no monthly maintenance fee. Apple Bank has great rates for CDs and IRAs too, all FDIC insured. After my review, I knew I had to open a Grand Yield Savings and a CD. Visit an Apple Bank branch and get your free financial review today.
Grand Yield Savings annual percentage yield is effective as of February 18th, 2020 and may be changed at any time, including after account opening. Tiered accounts, other terms and conditions apply. Fees may reduce earnings. $100 minimum to open and $2,500 to earn interest. No interest paid on balances between $1 and $2,499. Offer may be withdrawn without any prior notice. Visit an Apple Bank branch for a review or go to applebanksavings.com. Apple Bank, member FDIC.
Download the radio.com app and favorite 1010 Wins today.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. It is 37 degrees at 3:40. I'm Donna Vaughn, and here's what's happening. U.S. stocks headed toward their worst week since the Great Recession, a result of the worldwide panic sparked by the coronavirus. An alleged predator is in custody. Police say he followed a little girl into an East Harlem school and groped her. 2 weeks after it became a social media sensation, the so-called Leaning Tower of Dallas is still standing after a building implosion gone wrong. And it was a dream come true for a young Mets fan who's battling a deadly disease. He got to hang with his favorite team at spring training. 1010 with AccuWeather, blustery with a mix of sun and clouds for the rest of the afternoon. Sun for the weekend and brisk again tomorrow, but warming up a bit on Sunday.
This is John Minko. Rangers fires tonight in Philadelphia. The Rangers 2 points back in the second wild card in the East with 19 games to go. Nets in Atlanta, Mets and Yanks in spring training baseball action.
This is Andrew O'Day at Bloomberg. Virus fear keeps pulling down stocks, pulling them down more here in the final trading hour. The Dow falling 900. Strong SUV demand prompts GM to add 1,200 factory jobs.
Wins News Time 3:41. Traffic and transit with Greg Wright.
Well, southbound side of the FDR Drive underneath Gracie Mansion. Word of an accident. A very slow go from the 130s on down. You get downtown better on the southbound West Side Highway. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. And here we go with the George. An extra 30 to 40 minutes into and across on the upper solid 30 added onto your lower level trip. This is all because of ongoing construction on the eastbound Cross Bronx near the Sheridan. That's emergency work, so they're going to be out there until they finish the job. Eastbound Cross Bronx a mess. Southbound Deegan, eastbound Bruckner combo, a better go of things. Looking at the Lincoln Tunnel, we are looking at least 15 in. Outbound side 30 to 40 from 11th. Better elsewhere. Holland 45 on the outbound ride inbound. No more than 15 minutes. Citybound Midtown Tunnel. Brooklyn bound Brooklyn Bridge. Whitestone either way. All so slow at this hour. Mario Cuomo Bridge, that behaves, but the northbound thruway right off of it, slowing in Rockland, getting up towards the Palisades Parkway. Traffic and transit every 10 minutes on the ones. Breaking traffic alerts whenever they happen. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Wins.
Well, the coronavirus crisis continues as stocks tank again. It's been a rough ride today on Wall Street. R.L. Jones is following all the developments. He joins us with the latest from the 1010 Wins newsroom.
Yeah, Dow 30K, just a distant memory now as traders continue to ditch stocks as the worldwide economy shivers from coronavirus. The Dow giving back a lot of its gains from last year in a roller coaster session this week. Correspondent Aaron Katursky with more on the economic effects.
Fears about coronavirus have wiped out $3 trillion in market value. And fear, Diane Swank at Grant Thornton said, is as much a contagion as a virus.
It's an emotional response, but it's now rooted in real economic events. Efforts to contain the virus globally has literally shut down plants, schools, factories, travel.
Many companies are warning their finances will take a hit from the disruptions to supply chains and sales. Investors also worry about the effect on consumers if the virus makes them reluctant to spend or go to crowded places like movie theaters and the mall.
Still no confirmed cases of coronavirus here in the city, although City Health Commissioner Oxiris Barbeau does expect it eventually.
You know, the reality is that viruses don't respect borders. And so it's inevitable that over time we will start seeing spread from person to person.
Mayor de Blasio has been pushing the CDC to allow local labs to do their own coronavirus testing. The CDC's Dr. Nancy Messonnier says possibly by next week.
CDC has manufactured brand new test kits that will only include the two components that are specific to the novel coronavirus.
Now, the mayor wants New York to do its own testing to streamline the process, where ours could make a big difference. Al Jones, 1010 Wins News.
Market close only about 16 minutes away now. We'll have the latest from Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 after every hour here on 1010 Wins. Wins News Time 3:44.
The New York Lottery has a new scratch-off game series that can make your day, week, month, or year. But to make your next 15 seconds, I shall pretend to narrate this commercial as a nature documentarian. Look, over there. New scratch-off games. Incredible. Notice the prizes up to $2.5 million. Notice the brilliant coloring. The yellows, the greens, the blues, the purple. These new scratch-off games are truly majestic and optimistic creatures. You must be 18 years or older to purchase a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly.
Hi, you called 1-800-GOT-JUNK? How did you get here so fast? We've been circling the block waiting for you to call.
You knew I was going to call?
Busy retail stores generate a lot of junk, and you've been really busy. Now, point at what you want to disappear.
Displays, boxes. Amazing. Packing materials. I like this.
We work until midnight, 7 days a week, so you never have to take off work to meet us.
You guys are the best thing ever.
The magic begins when you call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Wins News Time 3:45. Now from the WFAN Sports Desk, here's John Minko.
Down to spring training baseball. The Yankees beat the Braves today 5-3. The rookie Esteban Florial, a Yankee home run. The Mets over the Cardinals 3-2. Paul Goldschmidt homered off of Marcus Stroman in the first inning. Stroman with 2 innings on the hill today. Brandon Nimmo back in the lineup, scores on a Dominic Smith RBI single, also in the first inning. The Rangers have won 9 straight on the road. That's a franchise record. 5 straight, 9 of 10 overall. They're 2 points back to the second wild card in the Eastern Conference of the NHL. 19 games to go. Rangers chasing Columbus right now, and they have 2 games in hand on the Blue Jackets. Rangers Flyers tonight in Philadelphia. Ranger forward Ryan Strome.
We're focused, but we're also staying pretty light in here as a group. And listen, we just want to make this thing interesting. We want to play meaningful games, and we're making these games count, and we're doing a good job. We're making it. Teams are starting to see us catching them in the standings a little bit, and we're going to play all the teams we got to catch up to. So that's the important thing.
Nets have dropped their last 2, have split the last 10 overall, half game ahead of the Magic for the 7th playoff position in the Eastern Conference, thus avoiding Milwaukee in the first round. 5 games from 9th place Washington and out of the playoff picture period. Tonight in Atlanta, Nets and Hawks. Brooklyn's Karis LeVert on the stand.
Of course, we look at it. That's the goal. We want to make the playoffs. We let a couple slip, but we'll get back on the right track.
And with the hope that it starts tonight. Sports at 15 to 45 around the clock. John McCoy, 1010 Win Sports.
Wins News Time 346. The U.S. Marine Corps scrubbing itself of Confederate symbols. That story just ahead.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-577-1827. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-577-1827. That's 800-577-1827. 800-577-1827. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
Wins News Time 348. Some very concerned parents in East Harlem after an alleged predator somehow got into a school and assaulted a young girl.
Students arrived here at Isaac Newton Middle School with no incident, a day after a man followed a student inside and groped her.
I saw where they was locking him up yesterday.
Derek Amos, who dropped off his daughter, says he's alarmed that the man police identified as 52-year-old Anthony Anderson was allegedly able to get inside.
I don't know how he got in there when their security is very tight. So for him to breach that security, I can't understand it.
Police say a teacher tackled the man and held him until they arrived.
It's good that somebody was thinking and somebody was pretty much on top of it.
The Department of Education says more security has been added. Darius Ramsey is 1010 Wins in East Harlem.
Well, once again, a controversy over the Staten Island St. Patrick's Day parade. Organizers have barred an LGBTQ group from marching under their own banner.
So was this finally the year organizers would allow the Pride Center of Staten Island to take part in Sunday's parade? Well, again, the answer a resounding no. Executive Director Carol Bullock says her application never even was considered.
Each year that I've gone in, I've left a letter asking for the opportunity to sit down and have some dialogue, and they've never taken me up on it.
And even though denied again and they're sad and angry, they won't protest.
I'm asking people not to march in the parade, but to show up on Forest Avenue, have a great time. We have awesome restaurants and bars. Just don't actually participate in the parade.
Organizers say LGBT not appropriate to be part of a parade that honors a patron saint. Glenn Schuck, 1010 Wins. They're on Staten Island.
As the nation continues to debate whether or not Confederate memorials should remain standing, word that the top guy at the Marine Corps is pushing for the removal of Confederate paraphernalia at its military bases. Military.com says Commandant General David Berger made the directive in a memo to senior staff that included a list of other initiatives that he's prioritizing. A survey has found more than a third of all active duty troops say they personally witnessed an example of white nationalism or ideologically driven racism from another person within their ranks in recent months. It was a viral internet sensation. The Leaning Tower of Dallas is still standing despite attempts to bring it down.
After the building partially imploded, demolition crews had a plan.
I came in like the rain.
But in reality, the infamous Leaning Tower still standing and crews still working to the dismay of many spectators.
The wrecking ball that they're using, I think it's tiny.
The demolition company has used several 2.5-ton wrecking balls to slowly chip away at the Leaning Tower. Looks can be deceiving. Now, Texans anticipating more advertisements after the Choctaw Casino projected its logo on the side of the building this week with the phrase, "Have better luck with us."
This man loves the idea.
Absolutely. I mean, why not? Everybody knows that, people are going to get attention. Why not capitalize on it?
That's correspondent Clayton Neville reporting. Wins News Time 351. Traffic and transit now with Greg Wright.
Well, the east side of town, south NFDR, still slammed from the 130s down to Gracie Mansion underneath the mayoral residence. It looks like we've got an accident blocking a lane, so that's why that's so slow. Northbound FDR, the crawl from the 20s, getting up towards Midtown at this hour. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels, and oh boy, the George Washington Bridge. It's a 30 to 45 minute ride into and across on the upper level. Inbound lower is a solid 30 to 40. Why? Well, it all goes back to a construction project ongoing on the eastbound Cross Bronx near the Sheridan. That sits in the right lane, so you've got a mess once you clear the inbound George. From that point on, you want to go for the southbound Deegan, eastbound Bruckner combination. Lincoln's about 15 in, outbound a solid 20 to 30 minutes. Holland 45 on the outbound ride. Inbound no more than 15. Citybound Midtown Tunnel. Manhattan-bound upper level of the Queensboro, Brooklyn-bound Brooklyn Bridge. Either way on the Whitestone, it's all so slow. Traffic sponsored by Plaza Jewish Community Chapel. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Wins.
We at Plaza Jewish Community Chapel would like to remind you that candle lighting is at 5:27 this evening. Good Shabbos and Shabbat Shalom.
Now the AccuWeather Exergen 4-day forecast sponsored by Subaru's all-new 2020 Forester. Here's meteorologist John Feerick.
Yeah, still some gusts out there on the order of 35 to 40 miles per hour. Need to bundle up if you're heading out for a night on the town this evening. A partly cloudy sky tonight. A little bit less wind. Down to 28 midtown. Real feels in the teens. Risky cold for tomorrow. Clouds, some sunny breaks. A high only 37. Real feels in the 20s. Mostly clear, cold tomorrow night down to 26. And then sunshine for Sunday. A nicer day. Not as cold, up to 43. Increasing clouds Monday up to 53. And then by Tuesday and Wednesday, we're up near 60. Right now in Central Park, 41. Partial sun, humidity 26%, wind west at 20. Repeating the current temperature, 41. Going down to 28 midtown. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist John Feerick on New York's weather station, 1010 Wins.
Wins News Time 353. Well, Justin Timberlake weighing in on the Girl Scout cookie debate in a pair of Instagram videos. The question, of course, Samoas versus Thin Mints. The Can't Stop the Feeling singer sampled a Samoa and proclaimed, "Girl Scouts of America, we support you." Apparently, he was delighted by the coconut in the cookie. Timberlake showed no sign of giving up the Samoa for a Thin Mint, but agreed everybody automatically thinks about Thin Mints when they look for Girl Scout cookies. Let the debate continue. Well, he's 14 years old. He is a huge Mets fan, and he is also battling cystic fibrosis. A teen named Braden had this experience of a lifetime this week when he got to meet Mets stars at their spring training facility in Port St. Lucie. TMZ shared the moment.
How you doing? What's your name? Braden. Nice to meet you, brother.
Well, Braden got to hang with Michael Conforto, Jacob deGrom, Jeff McNeil, and Tim Tebow. Plus, he got to take the lineup card to home plate before a game against the Cards. An avalanche of lawsuits from alleged victims of sexual abuse has led to a bankruptcy declaration upstate by the Roman Catholic Diocese of Buffalo. It's the next major step for the embattled diocese, which is trying to recover from a clergy misconduct scandal that's been the basis for hundreds of lawsuits, Vatican intervention, and the resignation of its bishop. With its filing, the Buffalo Diocese becomes the second in the state to file for Chapter 11 reorganization and one of more than 20 to seek bankruptcy protection nationwide. The diocese already paid out $18 million to more than 100 victims. Another 250 lawsuits have been filed since last August. I'm Ann Cates. It is 37 degrees and mostly sunny right now. We're going down to 28 overnight in Midtown. Winds News Time 355.
There's a decade's worth of new adventure on the way. Make the most of it with the 2020 Subaru Forester. Standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 33 miles per gallon. Climb in and get roadworthy with standard EyeSight driver assist technology. Standard Subaru Starlink multimedia with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integration. Plus an available 8-inch touchscreen. It's the right size SUV for all the adventures ahead. With a spacious and comfortable interior for everyone you want to take along. The 2020 Subaru Forester, starting at $24,495. The SUV for all you love. Test drive the all-new Subaru Forester at your local Subaru retailer today.
EPA estimated highway fuel economy for 2020 Subaru Forester models. Actual models may vary. EyeSight is a driver assist system that may not operate optimally under all driving conditions. The driver is always responsible for safe and attentive driving. System effectiveness depends on many factors, such as vehicle maintenance, weather, and road conditions. See your owner's manual for complete details on system operation and limitations.
Winds News Time 356. Now, Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins and Andrew O'Day.
Another day, another wallop on Wall Street as coronavirus and its accompanying economic fear spreads to new countries. The Dow is down 589 points. The Dow is down more than 1,000 at its worst, so this is an improvement. NASDAQ right now losing 62, S&P 500 down 48. Coronavirus is prompting another major tech company to change travel plans. TechCrunch reports Amazon withdrawing from the annual Game Developers Conference due to fear of viral transmission. This comes a day after Microsoft announced it's not going, and a week after Facebook said it's not going. As tech companies boost the skills of Google Assistant, Amazon's Alexa, and Apple's Siri, another digital assistant is about to lose some skills. With the next version of Windows 10 coming this spring, Microsoft's Cortana will lose a number of abilities around the connected home and functions like music. Cortana will be refocused on business users. Strong customer appetite for crossovers and Cadillacs has General Motors beefing up its factory staff. The company announcing 1,200 jobs coming to 2 assembly plants in Lansing, Michigan. Just ahead of the closing bell on Wall Street, Dow down 597, NASDAQ down 70. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Andrew O'Day. The 1010 wins.
Wins News Time 357. To make sure that ENT and allergy and Mount Sinai could best connect community and academic medicine,
Dr. Alyssa Hackett, otolaryngologist, Mount Sinai Hospital, and deliver the fastest and most comprehensive treatment of diseases of the head and neck, Dr. David Bowe, otolaryngologist, ENT and Allergy Associates.
We needed to make sure we were totally in sync.
So we aligned our electronic health record systems to transfer patient information instantly.
And we constantly meet to share expertise in the latest clinical developments.
As a result, each time a patient is directed from ENT and allergy to Mount Sinai,
and there have been more than 10,000 patients since we began,
they receive the precise, personalized care they need
from the surgeon who can best deliver it
in as little as 24 to 48 hours from doctor's visit to hospital visit. For your same-day appointment at ENT and Allergy, call 1-855-ENTA-DOC or book online anytime.
Make sure you have the full team
on your side.
America is a great big country filled with all kinds of big good people. We all do. That's why the President says it's time to make sure we're all done. Why is it so important? Because the President has confirmed hundreds of billions of dollars will be spent each year to save lives. Health clinics, even more school programs. So make sure you count it. Because we count.
Shape your future. Start here. Learn more at 2020census.gov. Paid for by U.S. Census Bureau.
Capital One presents a 30-second audio tour of Ireland. Sheep, berries, golf, charming castle, charming castle, charming castle, charming castle, charming castle.
You know you can actually go there when you use the Capital One Venture Card. You earn unlimited double miles on every dollar you spend on every purchase, which means you'll have plenty of miles to actually travel to Ireland. The Capital One Venture Card. What's in your wallet?
Capital One Bank USA, N.A.
Wins News Time 359.
WINS, WISHD, WAWHD3 New York.
A radio.com station. The 1010 Wins AccuWeather 4-day forecast starts with blustery, cold weather for the rest of the afternoon. Real feels in the 20s a lot of the time. Breezy and chilly tonight, low 28. Real feels though in the teens. Another brisk day tomorrow with a little sun at times. High 37. Real feels staying mainly in the 20s again for Saturday. Not quite as cold on Sunday. High 43 under a sunny sky. Monday back to work with the increasing clouds, a milder high around 52. Looking ahead to Tuesday, looks like a spring-like day is on the way with high temperatures approaching 60 and a shower possibly as well. More people get their news from 1010 Wins than from any other radio station in the nation. Jim Powers is our service aide, Julie Vaughn our writer. Justin Schrader is at the editor's desk. I'm Donna Vaughn.
There's the closing bell on Wall Street. This is Andrew O'Day in Bloomberg. Another lower finish for the market, but unlike yesterday's complete washout, these losses are merely awful. Dow down 342 points. NASDAQ fighting its way to flat.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon, 37 degrees, mostly sunny skies at 4 o'clock. I'm Larry Mullins, and here's what's happening. While science works on a pill or a vaccine to control the coronavirus, Wall Street waiting on an antidote, too. You heard the man. Stocks fall flat on their back. Under the weight of this bug, we'll have the latest, plus a look at how New York is handling the health aspect. A man hauled off to jail after police say he slipped onto the campus of a middle school in Harlem and groped a
free of cold with a high of 41 degrees on this Friday. And it's sports.
This is John Mitchell. Yankees and Mets with spring training baseball games today. Rangers have won 9 straight on the road. Rangers Flyers tonight in Philadelphia. The Mets look to stop the 2-game losing streak in Atlanta.
And off we go to Friday with news time 4:01 from your Ram Trucks Traffic Center. Expanded traffic and transit for the commute. Good afternoon, Greg Rice.
Well, good afternoon, Larry Mullins. Bad afternoon in the Bronx. We have been staring at this on the eastbound cross Bronx since this morning. This is emergency construction eastbound near the Sheridan, and because it's emergency construction, it'll be there until they're done. And right now, the ride at the George, well, that's a good descriptor of it. Done. You're looking at an hour into and across on the upper level, and a solid 30 to 45 already on the inbound lower level of the George, and that doesn't count the time you'll spend on the cross Bronx. So don't go for the southbound Deegan, eastbound Bruckner combo instead. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. There's already no good way out over at the George. Looking at the Lincoln Tunnel, it's about 15 to 20 minutes in. Solid 30 to 40 out already. 45 plus at the outbound Holland. Inbound, no more than an extra 10 to 15. Whitestone tough either way. Bronxbound RFK is worsening. Citybound Midtown Tunnel, Brooklynbound Brooklyn Bridge, all sorts of bunched up. Northbound Hutch Slam getting up to the cross county with an accident. The New England Thruway through Westchester, that does better. Eastbound LY loaded to 106.7. Northern State no good as far as Minetto Hill Road because of what looks like earlier construction. And the Southern State slows down east of Valley Stream all the way on out towards the area. Route 110. Traffic sponsored by New York Department of Environmental Protection. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Wins.
Hey, New York. Billy Idle here to remind you, if you're not driving, shut your damn engine off. Billy never idles, so why should you? Shut it off. Learn more at billyneveridles.nyc.
The year was 2008, and legend has it that wily old investors like Warren Buffett went on a bargain-hunting binge, taking advantage of a fire sale as Wall Street burned during the 8 blustery days in late September that year. Horrified investors stood and watched as the Dow Jones tumbled close to 2,500 points and an 18% drop in 5 days. Fast forward 12 years later, and somebody said, is Warren Buffett wearing his flame-retardant boots again? Fanned by the flames of this mysterious and world-changing bug known as the coronavirus, U.S. stocks slammed to the ground this week, with all the major indexes struggling to get to their feet. We want to remind you the benchmark S&P hit a record high just 10 days ago. It's now lost 14%. That left the bond market soaring as investors seek shelter in safe harbor. 1010 Wins newsman Al Jones has been studying the markets as well as the ever-evolving game plan on part of state and local officials to deal with preparations for the virus. He joins us live from the newsroom now with the very latest. Al.
Yeah, Larry, you know it's been a heck of a week when we look at a 356-point loss and say, hey, that's not so bad. 1010 Wins business reporter Andrew O'Day with the grim results from Wall Street.
Yeah, stocks tumbling again for most of the day, Al, but we finished far off the worst of the session. In fact, an aggressive round of stock buys in the closing minutes pushed indexes to mixed. That's right, mixed. The Dow was down more than 1,000 again at its worst, but it's closing down, dare I say, only 357. NASDAQ ends this, gets up almost 1 point. That's a big victory this week. S&P 500 still ends down 25. S&P down 11% on the week, 14% since the slide began. The sell-off picked up steam after acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney suggested the coronavirus could force some U.S. schools to close. And more companies are warning that disruptions in manufacturing, distribution, and in consumer behavior could upend sales and profit forecasts out.
Yep, while coronavirus is making investors sick, the White House is downplaying the economic impact. Chief Economic Advisor Larry Kudlow says just take a deep breath.
Everybody, whether you're an investor or whether you're ordinary Main Street person, people should not overreact.
So the mayor and governor have been taking turns hounding the CDC to allow local labs to run tests for coronavirus, rather than waiting for results to come all the way back from Atlanta.
Yeah, and it's sunny out, and the problem is that we're up here where we're shielded from the sun. If you're out in the sun, it's not bad.
Yeah, I see a lot of people here with winter coats on now.
Well, they're not used to it. Right. But you're not used to it.
Yeah, I guess that's exactly.
So we've got a lot of things to talk to you about, John. There's a lot of nuggets that John is about to lay at our feet. Let's start with the Met ownership situation. What are you hearing right now? Because as of this moment, Fred and Jeff Wilpon still own the New York Metropolitans.
I can confirm that.
Yes.
They do own the team. In fact, Jeff was here, not today, but recently.
And you guys aren't going to love this first nugget I have. The first one you're not going to love. Okay. Barring something unforeseen, it will not be Steve Cohen. He will not be the owner of the team. I don't think that shocks you at this point. No. I mean, from what I hear, it sounds like there was finger pointing at the end. One blamed the other. Anyway, they had a term sheet. They didn't agree exactly what it all meant in terms of the transition, the 5 years and all that. So they aren't going to have a meeting of the minds, is what I'm told. Okay. We'll see. The other things I've heard, I heard a mention earlier of A-Rod. Not going to be A-Rod. Right. Figured that. Another name, a famous person who has some money in New York, Mayor Bloomberg. Yes. Not going to be him. Not going to be Bloomberg. Now, Bloomberg has the money, as you guys know. A-Rod, I've heard, does not have the money, has the interest. Bloomberg does not have the interest. A couple other things I've heard is that the 5-year transition is not a necessity at this point. In fact, it's probably unlikely. From what I'm gathering, they're going to take the...
Because you start off by saying it's not likely to be Cohen. Cohen probably presents the best deal, does he not?
Well, he offered, what we hear, a $2.6 billion evaluation. Pretty good. That's not bad, and especially if they had the 5 years, they would really like that, but they're not going to get that, I don't think. So they're willing to do without the 5-year transition, which you guys may or may not like.
Or they...
Oh, good. I don't know what it is.
So, like this year, like during the season, maybe?
I don't know, that took fairly quick.
Do they have, and what's the deal with them? They get like a 10-year grace period before they actually get the team up?
No.
You're making this worse.
I'm just saying.
I know. I mean, obviously 5 years was discussed with Stevie Cohen, whether you believe one side or the other, exactly how much power they were going to hold for 5 years. I think that was kind of the issue. But my understanding now is they're going to take the best deal.
Is Dolan a name being bandied about more for SNY than it is the actual Mets? Or is he not mentioned?
Yeah, I have not heard his name either. I've heard unlikely. I can recall somebody telling me that as well. So I'm hearing a lot of unlikelies, but someone's going to get the team, and it's obviously someone very, very wealthy because 2.6 billion.
Also, I can confirm, I don't know if you mind me saying this, Joe, but I can confirm that Joe and I are also unlikely.
Yeah, we're not buying the Mets. None of you have to worry.
I thank you for that. Me too.
Now you got to give me this. Now, you and I have speculated about this for a long time. Okay, you and I have about why Joel Sherman, who's a terrific writer for the New York Post, covers baseball, basically, I'll use the word, hates us. I've gotten that vibe.
Yeah.
He'll never come out with us. Now, I can never remember taking a shot at Joel Sherman on the air. Now, I've gone after the baseball writers, as you know. You and I argue about Albert Bell all the time, and you guys, they don't like the guy, they don't put him on, all of that. But you apparently have the absolute information why Joel Sherman can't stand us.
Okay, I do have that information. I'm happy to give it to you guys right now on the air.
Okay, please do. Well, we're on the air here.
I have heard you say that on the air and off the air. You've talked about how Joel doesn't like you. So I was curious myself. So a couple weeks ago, I talking to Joel on the phone, one of my best friends, and I said, I'm curious about this because I'm on with Joe and Evan. They're terrific guys. They think you hate them. And he said, no, I don't hate them. That's number one. The other the explanation is he doesn't give you a thought, not even one thought. So that's it, basically.
He doesn't give you a thought.
That was it. I mean, I wanted to hear it.
No.
But he further said that he has 30 people about who he's very close with, and he's an excellent friend. He's really a great friend. He's very close. But if you're not in the top 30, he's not thinking about you. And from what I understand, he didn't have any number.
Follow up with the story.
I don't think you're in the top 30.
No, here's what I'm going to say. Hey, Joel, and I've never taken a shot at you. We're sorry that we're not in your league. We apologize. Okay? Yes, you did. When you say something like you're not a thought, and you're telling me that, okay, those guys, please, they're not a pimple on my rear end. And that's basically what you're saying. God bless you, Joel. All love.
I didn't mean to start something. I
That's the way I take it.
That's 30 people.
Yeah, you don't take it that way? When the guy says you're not a thought in my mind, what are you saying?
I don't take it as...
No, oh, I do.
Well, no, you can. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I just did it. I just hated him ever come out. It's over. I saw him the other. I saw him in Tampa. I saw him in.
This is why you. I'm glad. Just say the story. Go ahead.
I'm walking in. I'm down in Tampa. Right, we were down there 2 days ago.
I can't believe you started this.
Well, I'm glad you brought this up. Now, don't be regretful. He's not coming out. Tell you can't stand this. So anyway, so
no, he doesn't think of
it. That's right. That's
he might think
that's even worse. Okay, we're not that elite level.
No,
get it. But let me I have to say it. So anyway, so I'm in Tampa, right? And I'm walking out of it. I'm at the Residence Inn. They must have all been staying down here. I saw it. As I'm walking into the building, I see Joel Sherman and Ken Davidoff standing there talking. And all I said was, "Hey guys, how you doing?" Davidoff was nice enough, and I don't think he loves me either. But Davidoff was very nice. "Hey Joe, how are you?" Sherman didn't look. I mean, when I tell you he didn't look, I'm like, "Okay, fine."
That's why it's kind of tough to believe what you said. You know what I mean? That's why it was important for Joe to tell that story. If you don't care about somebody, then you would probably respond.
Let me say, "Hey, you're alive." You know?
First of all, you guys are radio guys. You're not TV. Maybe he didn't recognize you.
No, he knows who we are. Maybe you're afraid.
Maybe he felt that Ken's hello kind of took care of the both of them.
And I saw Ken Davidoff downstairs today in the press room. He actually said hello to me again. I said hello to him.
Yeah.
By the way, Joe, I don't think Davidoff dislikes you. You just had an argument about the council.
Right.
That's all it was. It wasn't
like vicious. Well, we're sorry. We're not on the level of Joe Sharp. No. We apologize that we are not as good as you. No, really, I'm sorry.
That is not what he said. First of all, he does not dislike you. That's not fair. If you don't give someone a thought, it's not possible to dislike you.
No, well, you don't give us a thought, that means I'm a lot better than you are.
I don't know that. There's probably a lot of people he doesn't give a thought to. If he only is tight with 30 people and thinks about them, it doesn't mean he's above right away. I know I'm in trouble.
I've ended that possibility.
Well, I have some early returns.
Oh, you do? On the Ioannis? Let's ask John this. Did we ask John already this?
Well, you know my opinion on you.
Well, here's the question. Who will play more games in 2020? We were talking about this a few minutes ago. Ioannis Cespedes or Giancarlo Stanton? We know Giancarlo will be ready for opening day. We don't know about Ioannis. One guy's about to be a free agent after this year. The other guy is signed until the turn of the next century. Who plays more games in 2020?
My answer would be Giancarlo. And your pronunciation was excellent, by the way.
Giancarlo.
One thing he's particular about is...
Can we call him Mike?
Giancarlo.
Can we call him Mike?
3 syllables.
No, we can't call him Mike, right?
Only his friends call him Mike. And you know what? He doesn't give us a
He would take Mike.
That was true, though, by the way.
I understand. That's a little different situation.
I think he would take Mike over Giancarlo. If you do Giancarlo, he's not...
He would not like that. If you don't say it right, he would be very upset.
He's not going to say anything, but,
I thought we would have him on. He would have been upset.
I mean, the guy...
There was a rift between you and him.
No, there's no rift.
Then he would have given you a sign.
Right.
So you say Giancarlo.
I think so.
Okay, what do you think though right now? We've only had this poll up on Twitter for 20 minutes, but we've got 2,300 votes, which is a decent result.
Okay.
Decent. What do you think the results are? There's a lot of Met fans, a lot of Yankee fans on Twitter. It's a cavalcade of both, I would say. What do you think the results are?
I think he's right. What Joe said is right, that the Yankee fans will say Cespedes should have played more games.
Well,
so I think that's the way Yankee fans clearly think.
Yankee fans don't like
Cespedes. The poll will say Cespedes.
Okay. Not only does the poll say Cespedes, it's 65-35 Cespedes.
Wow, that's it. He's going to play more games than Giancarlo.
You guys are nuts.
That shows you, I'm telling you, I'm sure plenty of Yankee fans voted this. I'm sure Yankee fans don't like Stanton.
I know they don't.
And just figure this guy's, he's going to be hurt all the time. And that's what the deal is.
And the most recent piece of information is that Giancarlo may not make opening day. And that's in people's minds, and they're upset. So I think you hit it on the head.
Well, a couple of responses are interesting that you do have to keep in mind. Like one guy whose Twitter account is, I'll read it, his Twitter account is Will Pons Stink, except he uses more of a vulgar term. Says Giancarlo because you got to factor in the DH. And that is a big factor. The Yankees have that DH spot.
That is true.
And, one thing Brody said, we had Brody on towards the beginning of the show, was the hitting is fine, it's the running, it's playing in the outfield. Well, 95% of the time in the National League, other than the rare road games they have of interleague play, he's got to play the field. Right. So that's a big factor. factor, too. I think it's another good reason, so good point by Adler, the Wilpon stink, for bringing that up. The age factor.
Right, but plus Giancarlo has entangled with a boar that we know.
Yeah, we know. Giancarlo would win that guy. That's the difference.
Giancarlo might.
He'd push him away.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. Yoenis is pretty tough guy, too.
Yeah, I'm not
They're both,
John Carlos is winning the boss fight either.
he's probably not even
I don't know about that.
He's probably somewhere else.
No, he's not out there with boars.
What's your confidence level for this Met team?
I like this team. I think they have a nice team. Their rotation has depth, which you can't say about a lot of teams. You certainly can't say that about the Yankees. Now, I know the Yankees are saying they're going internal for the starting pitcher, but people are figuring what internal, what are they talking about exactly? I mean, you've got Montgomery a possibility, so I think that's a worry for the Yankees. The Mets have depth in the rotation, they have depth in the bullpen, and I think they have enough hitting between Alonso and McNeil, and I think Rosario took a nice step last year, and Nimmo will be better this year, and obviously Conforto's a good player, and Ramos is a good hitter too, so I think their hitting is solid, good enough with this very good pitching staff. I really like them. The biggest question for me is not Cespedes, it's the division they're in. It's tough.
It's a loaded
It's a tough one. Well, they're the world champion, and boy, the Braves are young and 190, where they were 96 and 90.
One good thing, though, is that two guys who absolutely killed the Mets are gone out of the division. Donaldson and Rendon. These guys were bona fide Met killers, and they're gone. So, I mean, that makes me feel better as a Mets fan.
Yes, right. Except they never left the division, but it's a good thing. You're right. Absolutely. Rendon was a thorn in their side, and that's a big question for the Nats. They're giving it to Keyboom unless he really flops in spring training, and from what I'm hearing from the scouts, now Keyboom can hit, and he's got talent, and he's going to be good eventually, but they're predicting 30-plus errors. You didn't see that from Rendon, so that's a big question for the Nats right now. Their bullpen is actually better than Harris. And they kept Strasburg for a lot of money, I thought, but he's great. And
Dino Hudson, too.
Right.
He's a free agent as well, if memory serves correct.
Right. Third base is their question.
Yeah, it's a very, very good division. The Phillies should be better. The Braves are very good, the back-to-back division champions. It's going to be tough because you got one team in Miami who, is still a young rebuilding team. And everybody's got to beat up on them. Everybody's got to take advantage of that. And then you got to hold your own against the rest of the division. And I don't think the rest of the league jumps out at me. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be tough. Even though you can look at the teams and say there should be 3 teams from the NL East make the playoffs, the 2 wild cards and the division winner. The problem is with the unbalanced schedule, you're not exactly getting to beat up on a lot of bad teams. There's only one bad team in that division. That's a big challenge. The Mets and everyone else in the division.
And the Marlins are better. I won't mention that they're undefeated this spring. I don't have it today, but they're obviously the weak link of the. Does that mean something? No, they're the weak link of the division. I mean, it is a tougher division, but we've seen that happen many times before, where you had 2 teams make the wild card out of the division, and I anticipate that will happen again.
You do think?
I do think so.
They make the playoffs, the Mets?
I think so. I agree. I like it.
What do you like coming out of the Mets? Well, you like the Dodgers, yeah, right?
Well, the Dodgers and the Yankees were the prohibitive favorites. Now you got questions about the Yankees because they lost 2 pitchers. Yeah, 2 starting.
And Giancarlo's already.
Yeah, right, that's true.
Giancarlo.
I didn't want to bet him. I didn't want to say.
We're talking to John Heyman. We're here in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Met spring training as we are a little less than a month away from the start of the season. The thing that scares me the most about this team is the bullpen. And I know that's an obvious thing, but they didn't really address it. They had it down with the Kansas, which could very well be the difference in addressing it. It's really about the guys that are here pitching better. We heard great things about Edwin Diaz. His first spring training outing, not going to get nuts about it, but J-Riz Familia we watched today. Not going to get nuts about it, but last year both of those guys were bad. They can't be bad in 2020 if the Mets are going to win this division.
Right, absolutely. No question about that. Well, Lugo's still in the pan. I know that he wanted to start. He was fantastic last year, so you got him. Zellman's very good. Obviously, Familia has it in him.
Zellman's okay. That's not getting much.
He's good.
He's all right.
Yeah, good is too strong.
Yes, it is too strong.
I don't give Zellman much thought.
Okay. Right, exactly. Just kind of like Joe Shelman and us.
I do give Zellman a lot.
Well, we all
much better than decent. He's excellent.
We have the same one. He's a terrific baseball writer.
He's actually the best one out there.
Probably is.
Next to you.
Thank you.
The talent is there.
even more than that now. Because you're like, football prowess is now, I mean, it's Peter King is.
I know. I don't know about that. It's not getting carried away here. I'm doing a little bit better. Last year, what did I win? 2 games last year?
What do you think? We won
I was close to 500.
Three of us had a winning record. We had lousy because we didn't.
Well, I hit the Super Bowl, though.
So did I. What does that mean? I did not. You tweeted something yesterday that I read to Joe. And he said,
listen to the show.
This thing is
booed, cheater, all the cheater, and I'm rounding it off.
Go to Naples a lot. Terry and I like there's people there. They're like teenagers.
I mean, these are some tough octogenarians, and but once the regular season started on Twitter and nothing like that, they deserve what they get. But it's ugly down there.
By the way, I haven't mentioned this on air, but something happened the other day at Yankee camp that very much concerned me. The Yankees gave us Hal Steinbrenner. Great spot. Great guy. Hal was one. He was very good. There's something that scared me that Hal said about selling the team. No, he said he'll be there forever. I asked Hal, what do you think about this playoff idea? And I'm expecting Hal, owner of the Yankees, to say, like everybody else, we don't need to add playoff teams. And Hal started selling us on, well, it's good, best of 3, more teams involved. John, if Hal Steinbrenner is on board with the playoff idea, it's over. Do you agree with that? I forgot to mention.
Well, I'm not as down on it as you guys are, but I don't think we need more teams in the playoffs at all.
Well,
selling out 14.
That's nonsense.
That doesn't bother me. What bothers me
is the playoff teams is worse. It is, but the whole concept is terrible.
I heard your interview with Mando. The problem is the NBA has all these teams in, but 8 is never going to be one. Maybe once every 2 decades.
That happen in baseball.
In baseball,
of course,
that could happen.
You have a team with less than 500 record that can win the whole thing.
Yeah, they're saying they've looked at it, and only 4 times in the last 8 years would a losing team have made the playoff.
That's 4 times. That's 4 too many. That's no big deal.
I work at MLB, and I'm born with, that's my employer, but I'm with you. I think it's too many. We don't need 14 teams in there. And, if I get fired tomorrow, I'm going to have to knock on the insurance store and try to, come on every 5 minutes instead of once a week. But I think it's too many teams. That's my problem with it. Some other good players, the Greek Freak, whoever. You're not like those things.
You're 100% right.
It's a different.
You said the last 8 years only 4 teams would make it. So that we're less than 500 records. So that means every 2 years there's going to be a team with less than 500 records makes a playoff. Yeah, that's a lot.
One out of the 4 teams, so it's a 7% chance. But it should be less. I mean, if a team is but you have some.
You're acting like it's no big deal.
Yeah.
They're going to pop champagne when they win 79 games.
One of the things to me,
there's no champagne for the 4th wild card.
That's right. That's one of the things that makes baseball special. You have to be great to make the playoffs now, basically. I mean, once in a while, someone will slip with an 80. Once in a while.
Good. Yeah.
You got to be a top 3rd. That's pretty darn good. That I like that. The other things I'm all fine with, but as I said, if I'm unemployed tomorrow, you're garbage. I don't want that. Now maybe.
John, you're the best. We appreciate it. The game's been over for an hour. I'll still hang out with him. Tell Sean I said hello. I'll tell him I said hello.
No negative thought about you. None whatsoever.
When you see Joe, when you see Joe and he needs to do this, you got to say, in English says all the love, and I know you're Jewish, but give him one of the blessings, okay?
The blessing. Show me how to do that later.
Here.
That's it?
Go down and over.
The cross. That won't mean anything to me. A couple of Jews doing the cross.
You don't understand. You're missing the point. That's what I would do. If I saw Joel, I'd say, Joel,
I will do that.
All the love, and I'd give him the
I wish I wouldn't take it so hard, because he has no negative thought toward you whatsoever, and no negative thought toward you whatsoever. None.
I don't think
you took it the way it is.
I don't know. How about that?
You were in the office a couple times.
What office?
on the MLB Network.
No, but John, that's when I actually came back and said I was on MLB Network with Joel. I think he's a great baseball writer. I got right. I said that to you. Look, I mean, that's where it came from. I said, look, even though he can't stand us, we think he's a very good baseball.
You guys no vibe for him. No, not
I'm just giving you my honest guys. What?
been celebrities you used to have in suck up.
No, I don't suck up.
No, don't be that kind of guy.
No, you hung out at 345 Hudson Street. Suck up.
No, I mean, people stop me in the mall and they always say, I gotta ask permission to go in the bathroom. They don't say you're on MLB Network. They don't say you want me in the bathroom. No, come on. Most people have to. That's the way I envision it. I could be wrong.
Go back to your hotel.
All right. We're not supposed to shake hands, but for you guys, I'll make an exception.
Stop it. Please. John here. When we come back, Jeff McNeil of the New York Mets. We'll hear from Jeff McNeil, Luis Rojas coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Benigno and Roberts, we are broadcasting live from Mets Arena.
He was giving me like a dole food here. Monday has a whole new look with BetMGM's new Money Monday Club. Now, when New Jersey sports fans place a total of $50 in wages at BetMGM Sports between Monday and Sunday, a $10 free bet will automatically be added to their accounts on Monday morning. It's BetMGM's way of rewarding fans who turn their predictions into convictions and believe in their game by making real money bets on parlays, boosted odds specials, in-game live betting, and a lot more. It's simple. Just make bets in any amount from Monday to Sunday, and when your wager total reaches $50, you're guaranteed a $10 free bet to use on any upcoming game. Download the BetMGM Sports app. Visit BetMGM.com. Sign up to learn more about how you can be part of the Money Monday Club. Get rewarded for your bets every week at BetMGM Sports. Monday means money. Got to be 21 or older. Got to be in Jersey. Restrictions apply. Visit BetMGM.com for a full list of terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Jim Rome with a Radio.com sportsman. Big Papi is having a big crappy estate sale. A former 20-year Major League Baseball player in a $6 million crib is going to have some nice items for sale, and he does. Some great memorabilia. But you're going to find some other less appealing items as well. Listed on this estate sale is a Hewlett-Packard printer from 2002. So if you're in the market for an 18-year-old black and white behemoth of a desktop printer, head on over to Papi's crib. And there's a doormat with a giant print of asparagus on it. You thought his takes on Mike Fears and Rob Manfred were bad. Wait till you walk through this guy's house. Oh, and don't forget to bid on that 22-inch portable charcoal grill. It's still in the box. Charcoal not included. Enjoy his garage sale or estate sale. I'm Jim Rome.
Ugh, those nachos were rough on my stomach. When you have caps for fast relief and ultra coating. Pepto-Bismol liquid caps. Use directed.
This human resources professional is crushing it thanks to Kronos. And this is his hype song.
I've got HR, payroll, talent, and time. Engaging all the best people.
Solutions for the modern workforce. Learn more at Kronos.com/HR Swagger.
You have to be up in 5 hours, 2 hours, and you haven't slept. This ZQuil Pure Z's is a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin that helps you fall asleep naturally and wake with no next-day grogginess. ZQuil Pure Z's, naturally superior sleep.
Hey, New York. Billy Idol here to remind you, if you're not driving, shut your damn engine off. Billy never idles, so why should you? Shut it off. Learn more at billyneveridles.nyc. From the 1010 Woods Traffic Center, I'm Greg Rice with a SupplyHouse.com Fan Highway Patrol. Major trouble getting to the Bronx. The inbound George upwards of an hour into and across on the upper level. A solid 30 to 45 on the inbound lower. It is all because of emergency construction on the eastbound cross Bronx to the Sheridan sitting in the right lane, so you got to get there. Once you get off of the George, go for the south and the eastbound Bruckner combo instead. The Lincoln Tunnel, it's about 20 minutes on the inbound ride. Outbound Lincoln 30 to 40, 45 to 60 at the outbound Holland. Inbound Holland 15 to 20 minutes. Whitestone's a mess either way. Stay with the Throgs next across the upper East River instead. Traffic sponsored by
by New York Department of Environmental Protection. I'm Greg Rice with the SupplyHouse.com Fan Highway Patrol.
FanDuel Sportsbook is America's #1 online sportsbook, and it's for a reason. They've got all the bets you could want. They've got a great, easy-to-use app. New promotions every day, and once you win, you get your cash fast. And if you've been holding out on trying FanDuel Sportsbook, then now's the time, because right now FanDuel Sportsbook is giving new users their first bet risk-free. That means you can place any bet within 7 days of signing up, and FanDuel Sportsbook will refund you up to $500 in-site credit if you don't win. If you like to bet on the NBA, you can place a pre-live moneyline bet on any NBA game, and if your team ends the third quarter with the lead, then loses the game, we'll refund your bet up to $50 in-site credit. To claim your risk-free bet, just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app from the iOS App Store. Visit FanDuel.com/Android. Be sure to use the promo code WFAN so they know that we sent you. That's promo code WFAN. Again, WFAN to get your first bet risk-free on FanDuel Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older.
No coverage at all, no matter the mileage on your vehicle. Protect My Car can provide a unique extended service plan to help you avoid costly repair bills and save you thousands. To celebrate 15 years in business, we further reduced our rates, and we're adding free roadside assistance, free towing, and free car rental at no cost to all new service plans. Call 800-943-9074 for your free quote. Again, that's 800-943-9074.
All right, back on the fan. Being on Roberts in the afternoon. We are in Port St. Lucie here at the Clover Park with the Mets. And joining us right now, and look, they wasted no time. My favorite Met, here he is, future batting champ, tremendous golfer. Guy could have been on PGA Tour. I'm surprised he's not playing in a Honda down the road here today. But Jeff McNeil, Jeff, Joe Beningo, Evan Roberts. Jeff, good to see you again. So now you are the third baseman. Last year you were the jack of all trades, playing at second, playing at left, playing at right. Is it better going into the season kind of feeling like, okay, this is my position?
Yeah. I can focus on one thing. I've been spending a lot of time at third base now. I haven't taken really many fly balls in the outfield, but it's just kind of a little bit easier on me just knowing I'm a third baseman and should be ready to go.
Now, last year, you started the year out and you were like Tony Gwynn. You were hitting about 350, 360. Then as we got to more the second half of the year, you started hitting the ball out of the ballpark. It looked like you started to pull a little more. You hit a few more home runs. I don't know how many you wound up with, 20-something, whatever it was. But, so what can we expect this year from Jeff McNeil? You going to be more of the batting, the Tony Gwynn type hitter, or more of that power hitter, or a combination?
Hopefully a combination. If they're trying to, get on base every single time, so just trying to get a good pitch. I love hitting for a high average, so that's my goal. And then the home runs will come.
It's interesting, when you look at the numbers, the average goes down, the home runs go up, the OPS, if you look at that, basically exactly the same. I assume based on that answer, you'd prefer the first half, Jeff McNeil, like give up a few of the home runs to hit for a higher average. Yeah. Is that the way you look at it? Yeah. I like getting on base. I like getting hits are fun, so definitely want to hit for a higher average, and hopefully the power's there. Did you do anything differently in the second half of the year, or was it just? I think it just happened. I wasn't trying to hit homers. I was still trying to get base hits. Just few probably swinging some better pitches, and was able to drive them to the ballpark. What's in this day and age, the stats that we look at have evolved. Like when I was a kid, certainly when Joe was a kid, it was batting average. Now it's OPS, on base percentage for you. When I was a kid, there was no cars. I wasn't buggy there. Right. What stat do you look at? How do you measure yourself?
I like average. I'm probably one of the only ones. That's what I was looking at. I was never really a big power hitter, and it was basically about getting on base, so on base percentage and average, and I like to get on base by hitting the ball, so average is a big one for me.
All right, now Andrew was mentioning that you're gonna be a third baseman this year, but you play everywhere. You play second base, third base, you play the outfield, and really did it seamlessly. I mean, no matter what position they put you in, you did a terrific job. Do you have a preference where you'd rather play?
I'll play wherever the team needs me. In college, I was a big utility player. Played everywhere. Played left, center, right, and second base. So, I've done it before. I enjoy moving all over the diamond as well. So, something new every single day. But if the team needs me at third base every single day this year, I'll be there.
That's what I love, because we would take calls from people saying you got to give Jeff one position because it'll affect him offensively if he's moving around. And my counter was, well, look at you last year. It never affected him. Left field, right field, it didn't matter. You were hitting all over the place, so it doesn't affect you at all where you play.
Yeah, no, I don't think it affects me at all. Two completely different things, so I can separate it pretty easily. So it doesn't matter where I'm playing. I'm gonna try not to let it affect me at the plate.
Because right now you're the third baseman, but we can see 57 different scenarios where you end up somewhere else. Bobby Cano gets hurt, you could be the second baseman. You can end up in the outfield. So you start off at third, but there's a chance we're going to see the same thing as last year, where you're playing all over the place.
Yeah, as of right now, I'm a third baseman, I think, but players change. Stuff happens. People get hurt. It's part of the game, but hopefully everyone's healthy and I'll be at third base all year.
Joe Nevin, of course, we're here in Port St. Lucie, Clover Park with the Mets. Your starts out last year, rough first half. You're a Mets fan, I gotta tell you, Evan, me, we're all like, oh my God, the season's over by the end of June already. Here we go, all aggravation. And then something clicks in the second half of the year, and you guys go on a roll, and you were 20 games over 500 the second half of the year. What was the difference from the beginning of the season into the second half?
I think everything was just clicking at once. Beginning of the year, we weren't, our hitting was good, our pitching was bad, and then, we got our pitching good, and our hitting kind of went down, and, nothing just clicked at once, and I think, later, second half of the year, everything was clicking, and, winning a bunch of ball games.
Can you, I don't know if this exists, you tell me, can you take the momentum from the second half of last year and take it towards this year? Because the team is similar. There were some changes, but for the most part, it's a very similar team.
Yeah, this team knows we can win. We're definitely take, what we did the second half of last year, bring into this year. That team hasn't changed much. We had a few pitchers and a couple bullpen pieces, but very similar. And we're just gonna take what we did last year, the second half, and bring it into this year.
Mickey's gone, Callaway's gone, Luis Rojas comes in. Obviously the situation with Beltran, but Luis Rojas now is the manager. How's that? How's the feel now making that transition from Mickey to Rojas?
Luis been great. A lot of us in the locker room played for him before, so we're all really comfortable with him, and we're enjoying spring training so far with him, and it's been a lot of fun. He brings a lot of good energy, and I think the guys are really excited to play for him.
As he said, because one thing about Luis Rojas I've noticed early on is he doesn't say anything.
He competes second sometimes, and I think Nimmo's back second as well. So, it's all interchangeable depending on the matchups, but, I get it first, second.
But you don't care? You don't have a preference?
I don't really care.
Okay.
If I'm leading off the game, I'm probably going to swing at first pitch. If I'm batting second, I'm probably swinging at first pitch too, so.
That's true. You're killing on Friday. I forget what the numbers were with him swinging at the first pitch. What did you hit? You probably know, right?
No, I know as well.
Yeah, no.
On the first pitch,
boom.
I think most of my home runs were on the first pitch, so always ready to hit.
Yeah, no question about it. Now, look, all Mets fans, let's be honest, we got expectations now. You guys had a big second half. You won 86 games. So many additions. The guy, Betances, Waka, Porcello, all the guys you brought in this year. Alonso's established. You're established. You guys looking at it, hey, we have to make the playoffs this year, right?
Yeah, I think that's an expectation. That's a goal. That's what we all want in there. So we have to playoffs.
If the bullpen was a little bit better, you guys probably make the playoffs. It drove Joe and I nuts off here. As a position player, how did you feel after some of these losses? The game in Washington obviously jumps out at me, but there was a lot. How, as a position player, when it wasn't really your fault, it was the bullpen collapsing, how was it kind of getting through a season in which you played well enough to win games, but it came down to getting those last 3 or 6 outs that cost you?
Well, at times it's frustrating. The pitchers are out there grinding there, giving it all. I expect a huge, bounce back season from Diaz and Familia, and I expect them to be great this year. If they're great, we should definitely, get back in the playoffs.
You guys start beating the Braves again now, because it's going to be like it used to be, 20 years ago, when the Braves would dominate the Mets, and that's the one team you actually had a good record against the Nationals, obviously Miami. I think it was close to 500 with the Phillies, whatever it was, but, Atlanta really beat you up pretty good last year. That's the team you got to get, I think, in this division, even though Washington won the World Series.
Yeah, the Braves were solid last year. They lost, I think, Donaldson this year, so.
Oh, that's a good thing. Very good thing.
Yeah, yes. But, we got to take care of our division. It's a good division this year, but, we beat Washington a lot last year. 12 last year. A lot of them. 12 and a couple of bad losses against them, and you know, like, see them win the World Series, that's tough. You know, that could be us. Yeah, so we just got to get back to the playoffs, and you know, I think once we get to the playoffs, you know, our pitching staff is solid, and we got starting pitching to do it.
Talking to Jeff McNeil, here's $1 million question. How healthy is Yoenis? How good does he look? Do you expect him to be on the ice?
I can say this for me to say this, because I've been predicting this for 2 years with Yoenis. Okay, 40-120 for Yoenis this year. What do you think?
I hope so. Yeah, I mean,
you play golf with him. That's another question.
I play golf with him. I know he's going to get back. From what I've seen, I haven't been around him a lot. You know, he's been working out in the outfield, but you know, when I see him, you know, take batting practice, it's really good. So, you know, I know he wants to play. That's a big year for him.
If my memory is correct, just putting it all together, I don't think you've ever been in the lineup with Yoenis Cespedes.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, because he got hurt before he got called up.
That's right. All right, now I got to ask you this. Now, I know you're a big golfer, a big golfer. I'm not in your class, because I know you shoot in the 60s, which is just unbelievable. And you were looking to go on the PGA Tour, right? I guess coming out of college, there was a chance you could have done that, and you decided to play baseball. What happened?
Yeah, it was actually at high school.
Okay.
I played high school golf instead. I didn't play high school baseball until my senior year, so I was playing high school golf, wanted to play college golf, and you know, wanted to take that route, but didn't really get any scholarships or anything for college, so I started playing baseball again, and ended up out.
You didn't play baseball until your senior year. Did you know how good you were? Weren't even playing?
Yeah. I mean, I played like summer ball, like some travel teams and stuff, and I played all the way up until my freshman year. But when I got to high school, there was 6 seasons in California, so I'd pick one or the other. All my buddies played golf. I wanted to go play golf, so I ended up doing that.
How about the golf? I'm playing golf the next 2 days here. How's the golf? This place is Saints. You familiar with this?
Yeah, I played Saints.
How is it? Saints?
Not bad. I haven't played in a few years, but greens were solid last time. We got a lot of water.
I'm sure.
Well, actually, not for a Florida course.
That's a surprise. Yeah, Florida's loaded.
Yeah, there's still some out there, but you know, nothing like PGA National or Terrace going on. Yeah, nothing like that.
Did you get a chance to go down to the Honda? You go down there?
I'm not gonna get down there. We got to play the course a week and a half ago. We went
you did? Yeah. The whole team went to play?
It was about 8 or 9 of us.
You're the best golfer on the team, right?
Yeah.
So you know better than you never played.
I never played. We don't play Cespedes, so yeah, we'll have to play once. Yeah.
Can a golf swing screw up a baseball swing in any way?
Not for me, at least. I've been doing both my whole life. They're very separated. If anything, I think made my golf swing helps my baseball swing. Very good. So
as soon as a guy gets into a slump, we're going to start hearing the calls about it. Stop! You got to stop that. What about that yo-yo?
I think I need to get on the golf course on a slump. That's my mind away.
Yeah. So were you about 320 with the team?
I hit 300.
Yeah, nice.
What's the batting average? 330? 340? What are we looking at?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take, as high as I can get it. I don't have a number inside me, 330, it'd be amazing, but, I'll go out there, just try to get hit every time I play.
I can tell you this too, Jeff. Anytime I ever hear your name mentioned in any trades, I go delirious. Well, I'm not saying I trade McNeil.
First of all, let me be clear. I love you, Jeff. Okay, all I was saying is potentially a good player. I have to consider it. That doesn't mean I don't love you. That doesn't mean I want to trade you. I was talking about one of the 3 best players in baseball. He was like absolutely unbelievable.
They're not trading.
What about Trout? Would you do it for Trout?
Trout's not a homegrown man.
Okay. That's what I
Jeff, it's great having you. Thank you so much. Have a great year and check out golf game golf. Okay, appreciate it, Jeff McNeil. The Mets.
That was Jeff McNeil. We had a chance to talk to him right before this game, the Mets spring training game. We're talking to him in the conference room here at Clover Park. We're going through some of those numbers, especially his numbers swinging at the first pitch coming up. Plus, right at 5 o'clock, the manager of the New York Mets, Luis Rojas. Benny and Roberts, we are broadcasting from spring training live from Clover Park, the home of the New York Mets.
Smart car buyers are finding there's a lot of value in a pre-owned vehicle. The really smart ones are finding that vehicle at Paul Miller Certified. For example, if you lose your keys, they'll replace them free of charge. It's part of the Paul Miller difference, where integrity lives. Visit paulmiller.com.
From the 10 Sandwich Traffic Center, I'm Greg Rice with the SupplyHouse.com Fan Highway Patrol. Control. Still an absolute mess at the inbound George, at least a 45-minute ride on the upper and a solid 30 on the inbound lower, all because of earlier emergency construction work, which just cleared on the eastbound Cross Bronx, getting over to the Sheridan. There's also no easy way out over the George. Everything, including the west side, already a mess. Lincoln 20 in, outbound side of the Lincoln, a solid 30 minutes, 45 plus at the outbound Holland, inbound no more. And then an extra 15 minutes. Whitestone, Bronx, found the worst of it on the upper East River. Citybound Midtown Tunnel, the worst way to leave Queens and get into Manhattan. Traffic sponsored by Paul Miller Auto Group. I'm Greg Rice with the Supply House.com Fan Highway Patrol.
It may be winter outside, but inside the New Jersey Expo Center, it's golf season. The New Jersey Golf and Travel Show, presented by Golf Magazine, is 3 days only, February 28th, 29th, and March 1st. Save up to 70% on golf equipment, accessories, and apparel. Even vacation packages, testing-less clubs, competing skills competitions for valuable prizes. Receive a free golf lesson from a PGA Pro. For tickets, go to NewJerseyGolfShow.com. Come tee it up this weekend at the New Jersey Expo Center, February 28th, 29th, and March 1st.
When it comes to keeping Americans safe from coronavirus, this is the sound of a president we can't rely on. As there's this is just like flu. People die from the flu. America can do better. Managing the crisis when everything is on the line is what Mike Bloomberg is all about. Mayor after 9/11, Bloomberg steadied a shaken city and coordinated rebuilding. He oversaw emergency responses to Hurricane Sandy, the swine flu epidemic, and West Nile virus. To prepare his city, Mike created a pandemic response plan for disease monitoring, vaccine delivery, and hospital readiness. And at the Bloomberg School of Public Health, he's funding cutting-edge research to contain epidemics. The bottom line, Mike gets things done. As president, he'll expand Obamacare, create jobs, combat gun violence, but more. When a crisis hits, Mike will make sure America is ready. After the chaos of Trump, that is a change we need.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mike Bloomberg 2020. Progressive presents Get Inspiration to help you do insurance.
Okay, time out. You're gonna let your budget be the boss of you? Take control with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Tell us what you want to pay for car insurance, and we'll help you find options that fit your budget. Here's some music to get you pumped. I hear your budget laughing at you. Oh, wait, that's just those kids laughing at me. Ignore them!
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
I'm Joe Coy, stand-up comedian, and I'm here to toast my mother. Sam Adams is the best beer for this toast. It's grassroots, it's family. What I take from that is the same thing that I got from my mom. Mom, when you came to this country, was to give the kids an opportunity that you knew that you would never have. Thank you for everything you sacrificed. This is for you.
I'm so proud of you.
I love you so much. Oh my God, bottoms up. Slow down, lady.
That's good. Boston Beer Company, Boston, Massachusetts. Savor the flavor responsibly.
We're coming to you live from the Town Fair Tire Studios, powered by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Just heard from Jeff McNeil. We interviewed him before the game today, so a couple of hours ago. And, well, first of all, Joe, you're still on record that you wouldn't trade Jeff McNeil for Mike Trout?
You know my feeling.
I'm just saying.
What did I say to McNeil?
You said
he's a homegrown man.
He's a homegrown man.
Say that.
So that means you would not trade McNeil for Mike
Look,
Trout.
I love McNeil.
Which you know you would, buddy.
I am not. Look, you know what, bro? I'm happy with McNeil, man. He's one of our guys.
I love McNeil.
Right.
I love the guy.
I don't live in the hypothetical, the world of, let's trade, no. I just want to see Jeff. I want to see Jeff McNeil. I want to be watching from the parade route, okay, as McNeil is on the float as they're going down the Canyon of Heroes.
We were talking about how he ambushes pitchers, swinging at the first pitch. Are you ready for the numbers? Last year, 2019, he hit .421
on the first pitch.
On the first pitch with 14 home runs and 30 RBIs.
Wow.